God, I really should find some time to do like movie nights and stuff.
We should. But with that, we are live.
Hey, Chad, I was just discussing that we should do some movie and stuff because I'm reminded one that maybe not for the whole server, but I did want to. I still haven't done that thing where I've watched through all of the Netflix She-Ra cartoon with everybody. I think I watched like half a season with the Yugi boys one evening, and then we never got back to it. But also, I was quoting Spaceballs, and I was reminded of just how freaking good Spaceballs is, and I was like, yo, I got that DVD somewhere. We should all just group up and watch Spaceballs sometime.
Spaceballs.
Anyway, we'll go to What's Up. There's your intro.
There it is.
All right. Let me grabble our list of patrons and read that out really quick. Hi, hello. This show is brought to you by our patrons like Adam DeHart, Blacklist OG, Call Me Zed, Carlos, Dragon, Ferris, Fight the Icebird, Jeremy Vasquez, JDV 9000, Justice Bay, John Sono, Starlight, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, Regent Raptor, Rise of Kenji, Rogue Robin, Charvor, Shum Pryor, some guy named Bob, and Baron the Crow. If you like what we do, what's more, consider joining us on Patreon.
Patreon.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
And welcome, as I said, to your regularly scheduled, literally, What's Up.
That's what it is.
All right, okay, well, Well, we should probably explain to the people what's going on their screen right now.
Well, right now, Lucky is playing 7 Days to Die as he works on building a wall so that I may torture players in here with, nightly blood moons. But if you are curious as to what's going on in the upper left of your screen, Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis is currently installing. I kind of want to show it off to people because I think it's neat. Only problem was it took me way too long to figure out how to do the PC version because the base setup I had on LD Player was not compatible somehow. So I'm like, all right, I have to get in the fucking guts. And I only figured it out like 15 minutes before we had the stream. And then I was all like, okay, now I need to figure out how to transfer my data from my phone to my PC. And I think it's a full transfer, like FGO. I don't think you just get to have multiple instances.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but I remember, because, hey, I have actually, this is a case where there's a phone game that I've actually played a little bit of. I've installed it myself and gone through, like, the first chunk of missions, the first chapter for tutorial and stuff. Because it just asks you for a pseudonym, There's no, like, I mean, obviously, in the year 2023, even as dependent as Japanese games are on Twitter integration, I assume if you're making a new phone game, you have to realize that how long that Twitter integration and API shit is going to last is, like, numbered. There will only be so many more days before Elon Musk finds a way to fuck that up. Especially since allegedly they were going to start charging for Twitter/X API stuff. I don't know if that ever actually went through, but I do know that that would be very bad for lots of, like, Twitter integrations for stuff. Like, I think, like, Grand Blue is really reliant on Twitter integrations for, like, raids and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hey, spoilers, there'd be a lot of people that would fuck over. So I understand if they don't have that kind of integration, but I don't remember any kind of, like, hey, do you want to authorize this for your Google Play account or anything like that? They were just like, hey, yo, what's your name? Omega. Actually, cool, we're going to install about 5 gigs.
Yeah, it's a big game. Actually, funnily enough, no, you actually authorize it through your Square Enix account. And you can use your Final Fantasy XIV login for that.
Ooh, well, I should probably do that just in case there's ever some kind of crossover goodies. I'll have to make sure to do that. Like I said, I've only done, like, the first tutorial, did the full install, got to the menu, poked the gacha a little, collected some daily missions and stuff. I do want to play some more, but I'm juggling lots of things, some of which we'll talk about later, I'm sure. But yeah, so getting some pop-ups, getting some stuff.
Got some pops up. Let me see here. There we go. Let us activate the sound because, oh boy, how it sounds good.
Yeah, so, like I said, I only played for, like, I think technically, like, a total of, like, an hour-ish to actually, like, do all the early tutorials, do the first chapter, and then, like, work through the stuff. Yep. So this is a straight up phone game.
Yep.
It's designed for ease of phone interface. But the production value is shockingly high. Like they, admittedly, it's Square, right? So they are reusing a lot of assets they already have, but it's still pretty impressive. First of all, when Lucky gets to actually probably some gameplay at some point after he has to watch all the in-game ads for banners, there's all kinds of like graphical stuff. Like they have a I guess you would say like HD rebuilt version of the art style from the original 7, all the chibi models and stuff, but
so
with actual polygons and stuff. They also have what I would say I feel like is almost like a classic from like the PSP era of Square Enix game design, where they have the like 2D character art inserts, which are all very high quality and very nice renders. And then when you actually do battles, which by the way are randomized, I don't know if I would call them like completely turn-based, but they are definitely like on timers and stuff.
I think it's a cooldown base. Like, I'll show off a battle in a second.
It's basically like how a little bit like how the wait mode in 7 Remake works. Like you slowly build up ATB gauges, and different moves, different spells or special attacks use different numbers of gauge. So sometimes you just got to be chilling. But like all those stuff that I've seen so far, all of that is basically they reuse the assets and animations from Remake, which means your phone is playing a PS4 quality game. And while I do have, like I said, the battery's a little chaotic, and I've been having trouble with my Wi-Fi staying connected. I've my backup phone that we dug up is pretty decently beef. It hasn't had any problems. I think I installed on medium graphical quality just to be safe, but like it doesn't look that bad, and it runs well, and it's shocking to see, like, especially after First Soldier died after like a year, right? It is shocking to see this level of quality. When you play the first mission, they basically play a truncated version of the Remake intro, like with the classic FF, intro theme, and like go together. And admittedly, that was, pre-rendered, so that's probably a lot easier for them to process the video file. But still, it's like, damn, this looks really good. And obviously, as Lucky said when he turned up the sound, it goes without saying they have, an extensive back library of all this fucking music that sounds great too.
Actually, let me exit out of 7 days here real quick so I can free up some power for this. Okay,
free up some juice. But yeah, I was quite shocked booting it up to see how like high quality and straightforward everything is. And I think based on what I saw from chapter 1, obviously like they're breaking the stories up into chapters, so like it's not all at once, but it seems like it's got like its own whole new remix of the script for 7.
Yeah.
Like,
well, they're cutting out a lot of the chaff and the fluff, and everything is basically just
the main story beats.
Yeah. All right, so I put it on auto mode just so I don't have to necessarily, so I can talk and not have to fucking think at the same time. But I'll leave it at normal speed so you guys can see what's happening.
Yeah, it's got an auto battler. It's got speed modes. You can switch between. Yeah, I just did that defense stance and offense stance.
Yeah, so like I said, like as you can tell, they just kind of auto attack, and if you see at the bottom here, you have that blue bar. That's your ATB bar. It fills up, and basically you need so many bars to do certain attacks, and your attacks are based on a few things. Well, one, your character. Right now you get all the base characters, so you have Cloud, Tifa, Aerith, Barret, Red 13. You also have Zack from Crisis Core, and then... Oh, man, I can't remember their names now.
There's a couple of new people from the quote-unquote First Soldier timeline.
Yes, but there's also 3 from there. Each of them can use a specific type of weapon, and you get 2 weapon slots, which lets you use 2 weapon abilities, and so forth. Right now, Cloud here has Apocalypse and Muramasa, and like I will like see just to showed off a quick battle there. Also, I want the give me them weapon parts.
That is one thing I have heard from a couple of people who are getting into this without having gotten into any kind of gacha style game. And also to say, so far, I even did like a tryout spin of the the banner they got, just to see, because also they give you a shitload of currency. But this is definitely like, I know that Square has other Final Fantasy themed gacha games, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is not quite like you would expect if you heard the phrase Final Fantasy VII gacha game. Like, I don't know if they're going to end up doing, like, a limited time character banner to unlock young Sephiroth or something, because he's been in a lot of promo material. But, like, the way the game is formatted, it is not a gacha for characters. It is, you get weapon pulls. The weapons have, the classic different stars of rarities.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a like auto scrap mechanic, so if you get like a 3-star version of a weapon and a 4-star, the game will automatically, if you turn it on, eat the 3-star version to give you parts and improve your 4-star version, etc.
Yep.
And there are costumes, which obviously people are pretty excited about because the costumes are really good.
Oh yeah, no, I made the mistake of looking at the Arif tag on Twitter. There, are some people posting art, but then more people just really complaining about stuff. But yeah, no, people are excited about the art. But yeah, no, like I guess some people would be like confused for a gacha game. Ever Crisis was actually developed by Applebot, which if that sounds familiar to some people, that's because they are also the person who develop and run Square Enix's Near Reincarnation gacha game. So if you're familiar with those systems, you'll be familiar with how this game runs. We just slapped this ice assault scorpion.
Actually, that reminds me. I think I remember something. Is Near Reincarnation hitting end of service?
I don't know. I don't think. Let me.
No, I think it was a different game. Was it Sino Alice that's ending?
No, I think Sino. Is it Sino Alice? Well, I know Destiny Child is. There's hitting.
I don't remember which one it was, but I remember seeing like a news post on Twitter and some talking about how one of the gacha games that Yoko Taro was involved in is ending. And so people are like, "Oh, Yoko Taro's gonna Yoko Taro us."
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it. Square Enix Sino Alice Global will reach into service this November.
So yeah, it was Sino Alice. That part doesn't shock me too much. Just as a brief aside, I never got into it, but I remember that it seemed like a decent number of our community tried to get into it and just didn't stick. So that doesn't super surprise me about a bounce off. But yeah, so definitely seems like there's some mechanical continuity here. And yeah, like, it's odd. I've heard some people, like I said, who aren't used to some of these kinds of games, like maybe not complaining, but like having a little bit of a criticism that there is a lot of materials you need to level all your things.
Oh, well, yeah, I can understand that. Well, let me just pull up the party menu here.
Like, I haven't gotten too deep. I'm not really having played a much broader breadth of gacha games in the past. I don't think it's like super crazy, like God, one of the things that always was opaque to me, fucking like Azure Lane, right?
Mm-hmm.
That had a lot of shit. I felt like, comparatively.
Yeah, but let's see here. So like everyone gets like 2 weapons, and let me pull out the Buster Sword here. So here it has its level and rarity, which are 2 separate things. The fun thing about this game is, even if it is, let me back up here. like a 3-star weapon, by doing certain things, you are able to enhance it to 5-star and above. Like, here, like this crystal sword, it's a 3-star. If I'm to get crystal sword parts, which I get from getting extra copies in the gacha, I can boost it to 4-star, then 5-star, and eventually overboost. Overboosting requires usually like 200 of it, but that's what makes it red and looks super fucking cool. Leveling is a bit different, where you just that's the one where you just level something up, and then you basically raise its level cap by using a separate item. So they're both little things, but well, what's the best way to describe it? Leveling up improves its like base stats. Rarity up, I think, gives it better abilities. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Materia, I haven't fully figured out yet. I just got the ability to mess with the materia, but let me go here to materia. It kind of works on the same thing. Like, you have the ability to enhance it and make it stronger and upgrade it, which I haven't been able to do because I need to clear chapter 322. It looks like they don't just throw everything at once. You have to go through bits of the story to unlock everything, so you're not just completely overwhelmed at all points.
Yeah, that's something I did notice and I appreciate, is that it seems to have a slow ramp. It's like you can't even access the gacha until after you clear chapter 1.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even get to go to the main menu. The game has a little basic tutorial fight of just like, hey, here's you click some buttons. And then it's got, okay, all right, you're ready for some real you. We're going to teach you how story stuff works now.
Yeah. Let's see here.
So, yeah, it's pretty solid. And like I said, all the production value is very high. It is kind of interesting to see. Personally, like, I know that a lot of people are like, oh man, why couldn't we have gotten like not a remake, obviously, because the remake is just doing its own thing of various high quality. Lucky showing off the virtual joysticks. You can also just tap and walk.
Yep.
But like, while the original version of Final Fantasy VII is ported like everywhere, and has been slightly updated, it's not just like it has even over the PC version, it has like a revamped script. They've fixed some bugs and stuff. It also has some quality of life stuff. Like, I don't remember what all the toggles are, but even like the PS4 version port that I own and have played a bit of, it's like you can increase the speed. You can go like double speed or something. You can turn off random encounters, and you have basically, I think it's a separate setting is basically like a quote unquote God mode. You're just constantly refreshing limit breaks and HP.
Mm-hmm.
So that if you need to grind some shit out, because the OG 7 can be quite a grindy game for, shit, you could just be like, nah, fuck you. I will not lose to random encounters on the world map. Or if you're just trying to like walk somewhere, you can be like, no random encounters, thank you. But obviously it's still using like the PC ports models and stuff. I've seen some people who are kind of like, oh man, why couldn't we have gotten, a remaster of Final Fantasy VII in this art style all the way through? I'm pretty sure the reason for that is that do you know how far, like how many chapters into the original Final Fantasy VII it goes at launch?
At launch, I'm gonna assume it goes probably to the end of a remake.
Yeah, that's what I would guess.
That's my guess.
Because the farthest character we have is Red, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so like this game can do what it does, one, because they're cutting out a lot of the random encounter faff, it seems like.
Yes.
Like, I mean, you still get random encounters in combat areas, but they're having like Mako Reactor 1 is just you walk in, you open the door, you do some basic movement tutorials, you have a couple of scripted fights in the reactor, which is even more compacted than the original Final Fantasy VII, right? You can run into some random encounters while you open some shit, and then boss fight.
Boss.
You don't even have to like. I'm like, oh shit, do I have to leave on the timer? No, it's all. Once you get to the timer section, all scripted. And they time it out very, very nice from there. So like, it's already streamlined, and I think they can reach this level of quality because I'm assuming Square Enix is intending this to be an ongoing project that will last a while. That will probably like. For original Final Fantasy VII, we'll probably work to slowly catch up with Remake, and build a little bit of hype that way. We'll work on some other stuff. Obviously, they had the Crisis Core remaster last year, to kind of round that out. I don't want to say outright that the game like spoils some twists and turns, but if you don't know, you don't know, right?
Right.
But that intro fight, that's getting pretty close to some major shit, Like, I feel like this is not meant to be a replacement for Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy VII Remake. This is supposed to be like a cute thing you can do if you're like me and you really fucking like Final Fantasy VII. This is like a cute little thing you can do to kill some time and have some fun, see some models and stuff. Oh, look at those grody little boys. Meaty little dogs. And, just jam out to tunes whenever.
I can understand that, but I still do I wish that they had put the effort and time into such a thing, because I really do like the character models. And honestly, I wouldn't even mind this sort of battle system in the main game.
I don't want to say for sure what they will or will not do, but I do want to say that this game, I think, proves a point that is important, is that Square Enix is one of those companies that when they make something, whether it's an asset or they do like an audio track or whatever, they don't get rid of those assets. Like these models, these are all the remake models, that you're seeing on screen. I was actually kind of surprised. I was a little surprised when I was like, oh yeah, there's voice work. I probably shouldn't have been surprised, but I was like, huh, interesting. But I think it's only the JP track.
Yes.
Presumably because, especially given our current climate, getting the American actors back in, would be costly to work on some stuff. Whereas, I think of the way a lot of like the Japanese contracts are worded, it's kind of expected for them to just call you in and be like, hey, you finished with your Final Fantasy VII remake stuff. Hey, can you shoot us some lines real quick for this phone game? Okay, cool. Ooh, comboing limits, thing you can do. But yes, look at this Zaz chat. This is all on your phone. I mean, Lucky's not on his phone right now, but it does go on your phone.
Yeah.
And so what I want to say is, like, I don't want to count on them to do it, but I would not be shocked if, like, I mean, it might take them until they're done with Remake to do it. So, sometimes you gotta play the long game. But if they've got these kinds of assets, if they didn't try and figure out some way to, like, once again remaster 7 in this style, just because, like, I mean, I don't want to say, like, a lot of people I think of Square Enix and other companies like Nintendo as just like, oh, they're just trying to figure out money as ways to get at your wallet. They're gonna charge you for the same video games over and over again. Square isn't actually like that. Like, if Square just wanted cheap money, we would already have like shit-ass modern ports of, like, 13 that aren't very good and stuff like that, right? Like, usually when they do these kinds of HD updates, re-releases, remasters, bundles, whatever, they wait an amount of time to get you there, and there's usually a little bit of extra effort put into it. There's, like, I haven't played the 8 HD remaster, but they did do an HD remaster for 8. There's a remaster, an HD remaster for X and X2, which you can get on PlayStation Plus. Stuff like that, like,
very nice.
And obviously, I don't think anybody was like demanding those pixel remasters, but they put them out. Like they were out there like, hey, you want to play Final Fantasies 1 through 6 in their original pixely forms, with with some quality of life. And it's funny, if you were to do a quote-unquote pixel remaster type effect, obviously that doesn't work because for 7, because 7 was when they switched to 3D models. But if you were to apply that effect, one Ever Crisis would probably look like that, is probably what it would look like, and that would be next. So like I don't want to count them out of doing it because Square likes money, but I also feel like, and I don't know who like proposed it. That might be something to do some research. Like did I've forgotten their full name. What was the name of the company that assisted with this? It's
Applebot.
Applebot, yeah. I was like, it's App something, Applebot. So I don't know if they were like working on Near Reincarnation and were like, hey, Square, we'd love to take this and adapt it to, you know, like one of your big properties. Do you guys want like a Final Fantasy VII tie-in or something? Can we use those assets? Or Square was like, hey, you guys are doing pretty good on this Near thing. Can you help us cross-promote Final Fantasy VII shit?
Honestly, I
Like-
think honestly, I think that's one of the. If I'm going to assume, not necessarily with all sorts of things, I'm pretty sure they've had Ever Crisis in the tank for a while, but I think they might have actually changed up some things with the shutdown of First Soldier. Because I do think the First Soldier story, I think, is a little bit more robust than the other ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't played it yet, but that was when I saw that was like an option and those new character designs, my first thought was, oh, so there was supposed to be like story and stuff in First Soldier, but because it was a phone-only battle royale game, it shut down naturally. I mean, like, I don't think that surprised anybody. But they're gonna try and like get that lore out in Ever Crisis, you know, again with the like. I don't think he's actually in game anywhere yet, or nowhere near playable. But there's a lot of like showing off in trailers and in the cross promo for this game for young Sephiroth. Like, so I sense that might have been what they're going for. We're not quite back in the days of the compilation of Final Fantasy VII era, but actually, if anything, I feel almost like Ever Crisis is like their solution to the compilation problem. They've got like. Not that 7 wasn't big before, but... Excuse me, sorry. I feel like they got a big influx with Remake, right? Like, Remake was very, very hype because a lot of the Final Fantasy VII diehards were like, yo, holy shit, Remake! And then Remake came out, and we were just like, well, most of us. There were... I don't want to, you know, if you don't think you're going to like something, don't get into it. I appreciate that. But there were a significant number of people I saw on Twitter who were just like, oh, they're changing shit for this remake? Fuck, man, I'm not doing it. I don't know, guys. The original Final Fantasy VII is not a perfect and unique, beautiful snowflake, you know. It's got issues with pacing, and there are parts where the script is shit because it's just translated by, like, 2 dudes in a back room. You know, on a spreadsheet, right?
Right.
This guy are sick and other very confusing things. Attack while the tail is up. It's going to counterattack with its laser. You're not supposed to attack while the tail is up because then it'll counterattack with its laser. Like shit like that. But I don't. Yeah, it's one of those things where like I feel like those people who were just straight up like, oh, they're changing shit, I'm not gonna play this game. Like that's what the Whispers exist for. The Whispers are those people. Here to railroad you back out of the plot. But even so, most of us, I think, who actually were big 7 fans and played Remake were like, oh! You know, clutching your head gestures. And God, that's fucking... I'm so glad it won the Game Award for that, but I cannot once again praise the Remake soundtrack and all 8 discs it is enough. Like, I don't know what kind of sauce that they got down in the soundtrack department of Square Enix. I don't know what those guys do, but they're having a great time and they're doing good work. God, fucking Midgar Expressway with 4 separate goddamn movements which call back to different themes in the game. Crazy. They did a fucking 8-minute, like, 3-phase remix of One Wing Angel. So yeah, they're doing good work, and the soundtrack is not as crazy in Ever Crisis as that, but it's still using all like the modern, you know, remixes and reorchestrations of the music. So that's, you know, very solid.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like, so 7 was super hype. that got a lot of people into 7 because people were like, "Oh, this remake game's pretty cool." And dev time is obviously taking a while, as it should. It should take a while, you know. Look, he's bopping around the reactor.
Yeah, I'm doing something called a Criterion Dungeon, which can get me draw tickets. So
nice. Yeah, they have a couple different currencies for a couple different things. But like, there's, as we discussed, there's quite a lot to the compilation of Final Fantasy VII. You know, right? Like, there was Crisis Core as the prologue. There was Advent Children, and then I don't know if you can really build Dirge of Cerberus as a sequel, but it was kind of like, hey, what's Vincent up to? What's his deal? We never got to do all of our stuff with him in the game. You know, he was almost completely cut from the game as a character.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna call it a side story.
Yeah. Like, they do a little bit of effort to continue the themes in Advent Children as, like, hey, what's everybody doing right now kind of a thing, you know? What's our world building like? But it's very much like the, let's give Vincent a side story and conclude it. But it was still set after there was the cell phone game from the 2000s before Crisis, where you played as, like, the original Turks, which had its own, like, long-running crazy implications. Hell, fucking Cisne from Crisis Core is actually from that. She just wasn't named in that, but she was one of the playable characters. She was Shuriken Turk. So, like, there's a lot of stuff going on in there, and even now, they technically tried to add on to that with First Soldier, you know, which was the story explanation of that game was supposed to be, these were, like, mock battles that Shinra started to try and find the first candidates for the soldier program. So there's definitely a lot going on, and if you haven't and aren't familiar with all that, not to mention, you know, there's fucking mangas and novels and other tie-in shit, short stories. If you aren't familiar with all that stuff, you have no fucking idea what any of that is. Which can probably be confusing when, like, there's, you know, a fucking cameo from, like, Deep Ground and a couple of the big villains from Dirge of Cerberus in the 7 Remake DLC in Yuffie's Intermission.
Actually, what threw me was some of the characters in Wall Market, which were from the light novel The Kids Are All Right.
Yeah, no, that's another thing. Like, not even just in Wall Market, but also Kirie, who's a recurring character throughout the slums, is also from some side novels and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, they are doing some serious deep cuts, and like I said, if you are not one of those fans who during, like, the mid to late 2000s period was obsessed with 7 and the compilation, you might not get all that. And I wonder if, like, Ever Crisis wasn't their solution to that problem, being like, okay, all right, so we can re-release Crisis Core, you know, it was only on the PSP, we can fix that. What else can we do? Why don't we make a game that we bill as, like, it's gonna cover all the parts of the compilation, right? We'll come up with a thing and use it as kind of like an onboarding process so everybody can get all of the lores.
There you are! I found you, you little shit.
That's what it was. All right, I need to wait for the screen to come in to see what we got here. It's a cactar! Get him!
Fuck him up! One of the trope. Oh, I just gave that man the fucking stabs.
Yeah.
But it was the achievement I missed last time, because each one of these little dungeons has 3 achievements you can get, and one was fight the cactar, and I was like, what cactar?
Yeah.
It was just it was in a random battle.
Just gotta hunt for him.
Mm-hmm.
So hey, if you're fucking random battle, you know, squiggly
there's
hunting.
an action here. What is this? Oh man, that was just 300 blue crystals. Sick. Let's go.
Nice. I think that's technically
that's
a 1 pull, I think.
Yep, that's a 1 pull.
Yeah, it's 3k blue crystals for a full 10 pull. If you're doing the blue crystal gacha system, they have a couple of different, like, banners and campaigns.
Well, I'm trying to get the fucking Masamune costume, which I'm almost there. They have literally fucking blue-balled me on it. Because actually, there's something that I think that's pretty interesting. Hang on, let me see if I can show it off here. I'll do it after this.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't really poked it too much, but I will take a shot in the dark. Are you talking about like the sticker rally kind of system?
Yeah,
they've
the stamp
got?
rally. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Lucky can show it visually because that's probably a lot easier than explaining it verbally. But to kind of preview that, basically, when you go to roll on a banner, you can set up your desired stamps at certain ratios, and I don't know if it's like completely randomized how many stamps you get per pull.
It is. They do
Okay.
have a chart though for it.
Okay, because I got 2 the first time, obviously, and I haven't gone ham. But basically, you get to pick what you get at every so many stamps. So it's kind of like a pity that you get to set up, but you can only set up like one of a certain kind of result per stamp section.
Mm.
So like my obvious choice was I put the weapon at 6 and then the Masamune costume at like 12.
Yeah, I think that's if I remember correctly. I think that's required, or maybe not. I don't know. But let me see. Let's go.
It does warn you and ask you to like put them down. Technically, I think I could have gone the other route with Barrett's stuff. They also have some some guaranteed stuff with some exchange tickets.
Can I see my stamp rally?
There's also a wish list feature that I don't fully understand, but you can like try and focus on what weapons you want to.
Yeah, no, this is just something to. It just gives you an increased chance of
Yeah, you kind of get to adjust your own read-ups.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Here's my stamp rally right here. So like this is the first one, and as you go,
and I can see that you were 1 away.
Yeah. So I'm fighting to get that 1200 there. I was very mad. I got 3, then I got 3, then I got 2, and then 1. I'm just like, you motherfuckers. Because like I said here, there's a percentage chance stamps you can get. You can only get it when you draw 10 though. You cannot do it on a draw 1. Only draw 10.
That's mean. Sorry, I'm looking at that 0.01% chance to get 12 whole stamps and just finish out the whole fucking card. Damn. Oh.
Yeah. So one stamp is technically the largest, but if you add up everything else, it should be more likely that you get anything else.
Yes. 1 has the highest individual chance, but that's only 45%. So the other 55%, the majority, is anything but a 1.
Yeah, and this is the costume that I'm trying to...
Yeah.
What is this? Oh, interesting. This actually boosts my lightning damage. Okay. That's the interesting thing. Costumes are just not costumes. They will actually also give you certain effects.
Yeah, and they're not even called costumes. They're called gear. So it does kind of seem like they're intending them to be like actual real equipment that maybe not matters a lot. That was what, like 10% extra damage,
Yeah.
The kind of thing you can compensate for by just grinding out harder. But it's a cool little ad, and the designs are really good. So yeah, like this is it's interesting. And I because it's got the 7 story behind it, I don't feel like I'm like drowning and trying to learn a new game or anything. They do have differences between the premium currency and not. I assume that's what red crystals are.
Yeah, red is the premium. Lucky spent his Google Play points and bought fucking $5 so I could do like the free pool thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they got a few things.
Yeah, let's see here. There's the daily. There's memories, passes, special. Where is? Oh wait, it's in the exchange, ain't it? There it is. Gear exchange. Yeah, like. No, this one's good. I've seen picture of this. I'm going for it. Yeah, rosy battle suit. And this one for Tifa. I know what I'm about. I don't think I have any exchange tickets for anybody. Yeah, Glenn, Matt, and Lucia. That's what their names were.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm probably not gonna remember those guys for a little bit.
Yeah, it's gonna take a minute.
They are brand new, and as discussed, there are a lot of fucking characters in the compilation of 7. Or what was the slightly derisive fan nickname? The complication of Final Fantasy 7.
Sounds about right.
I think that's what I heard some people say.
Let's see here. So let's go to the solo. Let's equip that equipment.
Interesting. Sorry, Skyrim's no, not Skyrim. Starfield's there you go. There's a great Freudian slip chat. Apparently Starfield's Metacritic score is actually scooched down a little as more reviews come in. Not super uncommon. I hear the usual complication. People are yelling. There was the
Nice.
incredibly stupid, pointless Twitter outrage. Hey, even though you are not a voiced protagonist at all and you never have to look at yourself or, like, say anything, you can pick your pronouns in your preferred pronoun in Starfield, and can pick they. And some incredibly lukewarm intellect on Twitter were like, oh my god, I can't believe they put pronouns in my Starfield game, which a lot of people were able to easily dunk on about how, hey, you know that the pronoun, the thing you're mad about, are like a vital part of grammar. Every single time you don't use a proper noun, you're using a pronoun. I know that's not exactly what they're mad about, but it's one of those things where you make these kinds of, like, stupid, pointless, almost dog whistle type comments, and it's just like, you sound like an idiot right now.
People will just find the excuse for get mad about just about anything, I realize.
Yeah. This is actually a slight interlude we had during Mailbag of Let's Talk FGO released earlier today. Like, there's just some people are out there just to be mad about stuff. They're doing, they're doing it for the gram, as it were. They're doing it for the content and to get the outrage clicks. And it's just, some people take great pride in getting those outrage. Once again, reminded of Kotaku's completely, like, asinine behavior in the face of Tears of the Kingdom, right?
Oh yeah,
because they were already blacklisted by Nintendo, and Nintendo kept that up and didn't get them review copies, so they were just like, yo, here's how you fucking here's everything we learned from the leaked Tears of the Kingdom. By the way, Kotaku was blacklisted because they posted an article about which basically said, you should emulate Metroid Dread, and here's how you do it. And Nintendo asked them to maybe not say that part, where like directing them directly to places where you can emulate it. And Kotaku was like, haha, no. And now they don't get review copies of Nintendo games. And they were still butthurt about this when Tears of the Kingdom came around, so they decided to be mad, and they were very offensive about it. I still remember that one editor who posted a picture of a World War II fighter ace with all the, the Japanese flag markers, and he's just like, yeah, we're collecting blacklists from Japanese studios. And I'm like, wow, that's not okay, buddy. That's like, that's I feel like that's insensitive. Also, like, is there like an internet tough guy version of Stolen Valor? Because, like, you are not as cool as a fighter pilot, my guy. You fucking write for Kotaku. Yeah, I don't know. There's so much bullshit on the internet from, like, all sides. Hell, fucking, I feel bad about this, but, I didn't realize that's where she moved, but, Alana Pierce, who has a cameo in Cyberpunk. If you've played the Nomad Origin, she's the person who refurbs your car that you lost from the intro.
Oh, okay, I remember her.
Yeah. She's worked for some internet communities, and apparently she's working for Santa Monica Studios now.
Okay.
But also still does some streaming and other online stuff on the side. She did some Starfield streaming. She was the one who tried to...
went to Pluto, right?
Yeah, she flew to a planet without using FTL to see what it would do, and it didn't load correctly, because the game is probably not designed that way. I feel like the news coverage tried to make it a bigger deal than it was. It sounds to me just like what she was doing was just like, I don't assume that this will work properly. I just want to see what the game is doing,
Mm-hmm.
doing some stuff, but people blew it out of proportion. But apparently people are like trying to rattle sabers that she should get fired because she works for a PlayStation studio and plays Starfield, and I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? You just mad because a girl getting it, God, fucking. Listen, I have a PS5. I would love to play Starfield on it, but they're not going to do that. So I'll play it on my PC someday. I'm still not, I'm not in a rush.
I don't know. I'm still maybe when it comes free or something, because Todd Howard has been saying some weird shit about the game. Like he straight up.
Todd Howard always says some weird.
Like
stuff.
there was an interview he had. It wasn't too long ago, but someone just did the fucking the straight shot and asked, "Hey, why isn't it like optimized properly for PC?" And Todd Howard was just like, it is. You just need to get better computers." And I'm just like,
oh my god, Todd, you should know better.
So I'm just like, okay, Starfield has dropped several points in my to get list.
Well, I've gotten it on both of my Windows computers. I've gotten a fucking alert reminding me that Starfield's free on Game Pass. Can I get a free trial of Game Pass for like a month? Does that work? I could probably see what I want to see about Starfield in a single month. But no, yeah, like I'm definitely waiting for like a sale or some shit, like on Steam or whatever, and I'm gonna install a bunch of mods. But it's like, yeah, it's wild. By the way, they tried to fix the fucking Skyrim Steel exploit. They made it so that if you do like the free move, where you can pick up and move physics objects, if you do that to an object you don't own, that counts as stealing. Nice try, Todd. I've seen the internet videos. Somebody takes their own ball cap out of their inventory, drops it on the ground, uses that to push shit across the floor, out of the line of sight, so they can steal. You can't outsmart the gamers, Todd. Obviously, most people, that's still just a huge pain in the ass, but, it's the thought that counts.
Here.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I watched a decent chunk of... it was kind of funny's video where they had like 3 people play like their first hour and like they compilated all the clips together. I think I posted it on Discord. It's a Bethesda game. Like, I mean, it's shiny, it's nice. It sounds like they got some good sound waves. You can do a little bit of the stupid stuff, like you start as a miner, so that you can dig up an artifact and then get the plot shoved in your brain, like Mass Effect.
Brain.
But they do give you a laser cutter, which teaches you how to like cut rocks to gather materials. But also, you can in fact blast some non-important NPCs with your laser cutter. Just a little bit of trolling. But like from what I've seen, the first 30 to 45 minutes of it are just like exactly the fucking tutorial you would expect. Like whatchamacallit, like. You get your basic motion, you get your laser cutter to figure out how to, like, aim and cut stuff. You do some conversations. A guy from Constellation or whatever comes to retrieve the artifact, and he's chased by pirates for no real reason, so you got to fight off a pirate attack to give you the combat tutorial. And then, he's like, okay, cool, you've got the plot in your brain? Cool, I'm going to stay here, because I caused a pirate attack, even though I should probably have better shit to do with my life. Oh, wow, Chapter 3's already here? Damn, we're fast-moving.
Sorry, I think I crashed it because I'm trying to figure out how to get this fucking key map off my fucking screen, because I'm not using it.
Yeah. He goofed it a little. But, like... And then he's like, so I'm going to let you have my ship and my robot buddy. And then you take the ship off, you have a space combat tutorial, because there's a pirate there, and then they teach you about... how to get loot, and then the next part is they're like, okay, these pirates are going to keep chasing you, got to go to their pirate base and blast them.
Son of a bitch, okay.
It all looks like pretty normal fucking tutorial shit, for a Bethesda game. They even, you get to play before you do character creation for a decent amount of time. Basically, the way that the prologue looks like it plays for Starfield, imagine if you got to play that intro cutscene of Fallout New Vegas, where like you pick up the courier order and go about your business, but then Benny clubs you over the head and shoots you, and then you wake up and do all your amnesia shit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's basically what Starfield does. You start by walking around, you touch an artifact, and then they're like, okay, all right, you might have fried your brain. Please look at your employment history and confirm your profile so we make sure you've got all your memories, and that's the character creator bit.
That seems pretty smart, actually.
Yeah. And I do like that they don't do it right away. Like, it seems like they give you a little bit of gameplay. You can actually walk around, talk. Like I said, you can, blast some guys in the face with your laser cutter if you're feeling funny.
All right, let's try this. Okay.
And it does seem like, in general, they've done a lot for, like, conversation, like the way those are shot. Like, they do, a little bit of a punch in on a character's face when they're talking. They do a decent amount of, like, facial animations and even other, like, gestures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's got some positives, but also there's some weird shit. I've seen at least one screen cap or video online of, there's a locked container that should have a gun being, like, vertical inside as, like, loot.
Yeah.
But the gun is horizontal, so they just fucking steal it without having to open the locked container.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, it's still a Bethesda game. But, like I said, it's probably worth looking at eventually, but, wait for maybe some fucking patchification and stuff.
Oh, Barrett, you and your anger issues.
Well, they do at least zazz it up a little. I remember in the original where they just have Barrett, hold and shake his gun arm, and they just make the pew pew noises.
Yeah, don't even have the.
Yeah, no, there's no like flash or anything on the polygons back in the day. They're speaking of game updates and game updates I am going to do this month. We have total size for Phantom Liberty is out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be an additional 32 gigabits.
A respectable size.
So your total size on console will be about 90 gigs. I believe the current size is about 60-ish, so big chunk of change, but a respectable heft. Very excited for that. And that's the 26th.
Just thinking about how Midgar is just a fucking opening act really just blows me away a lot of the times.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. If you know what you're doing, you can get through Midgar in like 6 hours.
No, Barrett, it is your fault. You underestimate how fucking megalomanically evil Shinra was. Jesus fucking Christ.
I mean, I don't know if I want to lay the blame at Barrett on that because, like, yes, he probably should have figured that Shinra were crazy enough to have a failsafe to blow the plates. But I'm not going to put it on Barrett that he assumed that Shinra would take the fucking monetary loss to not just obliterate everybody in the slums, but also every one of their, employees and customers who lives on the top plate, too.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think anyone expected that, but... You blew up 2 Mako reactors. They were going to do something.
Yeah. And, I mean, I think it's a lot more emphasized in Remake, but I think that in general is part of Barrett's, like, character curve is, like... Because, Final Fantasy VII, very interesting game because, especially even in the original version and even still in the Ever Crisis plot, Avalanche are eco-terrorists.
Yeah.
Straight up. That's what they're doing. They're doing harm, and they're blowing up, like, industrial sites and fighting soldiers because, they're trying to save the planet. It's not that that's, a bad thing that they're trying to do. It's just that they admit that they're doing something, pretty violent and devastating and, maybe not the best way to do it. A lot of the character arc for Barrett is kind of, like, coming to terms with the fact that, yes, he's caused a lot of chaos and harm, and, like, he needs to figure out the way to, like, be better at this than Shinra and, like, keep the focus while also not necessarily letting any of his friends have died in vain.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's a cool guy.
I do hope that they they focus a bit more on that in Rebirth.
Oh, baby. Well, let's see. I mean, we're going to get to Cosmo Canyon, so I don't know for sure how they're going to handle it, but I hope that they do the Cosmo Canyon dungeon as they force you to pick Barret and Red.
Yeah.
Because this is it's underplayed in the game, but this is actually a big deal. Is that at Cosmo Canyon is kind of where Barret relights the fire. You know, he has an animation. Even if you talk to him around the campfire when you're having one of your big team meetings, he'll pound his chest and cry out to the heavens, "Avalanche is born again." You know, like that's a big moment for him to like realize this shit about the planet and talk with Bugenhagen and work about the stuff.
Whoa, look at that. Oh man, that's a good scene.
Oh my god, sorry, I'm just thinking about the music they're gonna play. Those Chosen by the Planet in the fucking Nibelheim flashback. And the timing's gonna be so crisp. Ugh. God, Rebirth is gonna be sick. But yeah, no, like there's a lot of character stuff that'll be really interesting to see in Rebirth, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna hit it because they already did a lot for Barret in Remake to like. Obviously, because they're doing it as separate games, you kind of have to give characters like smaller arcs inside the whole arc, right?
Yeah.
But they did a lot for Barret to kind of like. Barret's still like a scary guy. He's a very angry man. He's got a lot to prove to Shinra, not just for backstory shit we haven't even touched on yet in Remake that I won't go into. Which also, by the way, will be another thing that we should get as well. We should get Coral and North Coral, because we have to go to the Gold Saucer before we even go to Cosmo Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
Cosmo Canyon's kind of like like I said, that's the point where Barret kind of rebuilds himself back up after all that heavy shit before. And yes, chat, I did say heavy shit in a sentence after a sentence where I talked about where we have to go to the Gold Saucer.
Listen,
a lot of heavy hitting stuff happens at the Gold Saucer.
Listen, Gold Saucer, the top of Gold Saucer, very lovely, very nice place. Bottom of Gold Saucer, not so much. It's like it's like a mini Midgar.
Yeah. And also, like, that's where the date happens. Which, especially if you get Aerith State, which is, like, practically the default, like, that's a very serious set of moments. You meet Kate Shee there, like, it's like I said, Gold Saucer's a heavier hitter than you might think. Also, there's a fuck ton of minigames, but anyway. But you got to remember, they've got a fucking at the bottom of Gold Saucer is a fucking prison, and the only way you can escape is by chocobo racing. Which I am sure they will keep, by the way.
Just think about how fucking bright and lively chocobo racing, and just realizing that's all fucking prisoners, just kind of. Ugh.
You are in jail. You will never escape. Cloud just looking up. What the fuck did that just say? Don't worry about it. Get on the chocobo.
Get on the chocobo, loser. We're going racing.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not all prisoners, because once you're free, you can like voluntarily rejoin with your own chocobos. But yeah, like I suspect a lot of the jockeys are probably prisoners who get picked up because they want to get the fuck out. Hi, Elmira.
Oh, I love Aerith State so much.
Are these backgrounds pre-rendered again? I think they might be. They did a lot of work to like recapture the feel of the original, but I think that the proportions are better. Like, it's a little more realistic looking, but it's still really good.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think this is all pre-rendered. But I think they were a bit better with, like, layering and stuff, because, now she can, like, fucking sit underneath the fucking table and stuff.
Yeah, they've got better tools to, like... And the chairs look a little different. Like, those could be, like, objects or models on top of the background. But, like, the cabinets are all, like, decent sized. The staircase looks good. A lot of staircases in the original version of 7 are, like, either fucking huge or fucking tiny. Oh, and it does the fucking pan up for the flashback. It's such a simple little camera trick, but it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
and they got their little like chibi Lego animations, but now they actually have hands and fingies.
Can we ever figure out what happened to Amara's husband?
I think she'll say it later in this flashback, but he died at war. He never got. I don't know why he didn't actually show up on leave. I guess that like Shinra took the leave back or something.
Mm.
But there's an important scene later. It's probably going to be in this flashback where Aerith straight up tells Elmira, "Hey, don't be sad. Your husband's dead."
Oh, that's right.
I can tell because of the live stream. So yeah, I think he just unfortunately like dies in the service. I don't actually remember how long the fucking Wutai War was, but it went on for a while.
Now, this is why I'm glad for things like Crisis Core and stuff, because they put some fucking history in this fucking game, and when the Final Fantasy 7 first came out, there was just nothing. It was like, yeah, there was a war. Yeah, we like built this. Yeah, no, there was like previous soldiers and a whole bunch of other shit that happened before this. You know any about it? Nah.
Yeah, it's all alluded to, and I mean it does make sense because like I do like the way they tie that up. Like in Crisis Core, Zack's literal first mission as a soldier is the end of the Wutai War. Like it's literally their final assault to force a surrender, and then Sephiroth gets all the credit.
Yep.
But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff like that in there. And like I said, I think it's because they had to cut it for time because Yuffie is an optional character, much like Vincent. That means that a lot of her like actual integration in the main story got cut down. Which is why I'm also glad that it seems like they're setting up that you're gonna get Yuffie for sure, and maybe even a little bit earlier than you would in 7 originally. Though then again, I don't think we saw her in any of those cutscenes where the group fights the Turks in the Mithril Mines. So it might still be like you have to actually get out of the Mithril Mines before Yuffie catches up to you. But there is a lot with her character if you do go to Wutai like both times and do those side stories, which again are probably not going to be side stories anywhere because we've really, really played up the Wutai angle. But like if you do the Wutai stuff, that's kind of like Yuffie's whole deal is like the whole reason why she's out doing ninja shit and trying to steal materia is because she's having like an ideological break with her father, who's supposed to be like in charge of Wutai, like he's the head of like the post-war government, and he's turned Wutai into a tourist trap, and she's like, "Yo, Dad, what the fuck? We're proud warriors. We fought motherfucking Shinra. Why are you, turning us into like a fucking tourist trap? What's going on here?" Because he like, they especially play this up in the Yuffie DLC. You got to try out the intermission sometime.
I'm probably gonna try and get through a 7 again before Rebirth comes out. I just need to figure out exactly when Rebirth comes out.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for a hard and fast release date. I would love to stream a second run for everybody, just to kind of catch our community up, catch myself up, cover some stuff. Because it's a beautiful game that I love to talk about forever. But like in the intermission, like Yuffie has several pointed comments about how she finds a lot of the adults she knows useless because all they do is sit and drink and like bitch about the old days, right? So like that's why she's out in the field working with avalanches, because she's having this like ideological moment. But while they keep a lot of her playfulness in the intermission, she's also like a lot less of a gremlin. Like the way the original Yuffie is written and like translated, like she is just kind of a piece of shit kid.
Yeah.
Like anytime you have to like have an emotional moment, she's usually just like, "Ew, gross, adults. Yo, can I steal materia?" And so the intermission does a lot to like build her an actual characterization. So I assume they're gonna keep that through line. This is another weird thing, which I still don't get. I think Sung is supposed to be like younger in this, so that it's okay that he has like a weird thing with Aerith, but he doesn't really look that young. I guess he'd be sucking on that live stream. It makes him seem youthful. Actually, do we have a canon age for Sung? Hold on. I bet we do. We'll look for an FF7 wiki. Great work by the 2D artists, by the way, for these little character sprites.
No, they're very good.
Sung. All right, Sung is 30 in Final Fantasy VII. Okay, makes sense. How old is Aerith supposed to be? Aerith Gainsborough. She is 22 in the remake. So he's 8 years older. That's a little weird. Though that does probably mean at that age in that flashback, Sung probably would have been like 19 or 20. How old is Elena supposed to be? I know that I'm critiquing, you know, the fucking problematic relationships in Final Fantasy VII, a game full of, you know, gaslighting, terrorism, workplace violence. Oh, her age is not given. Interesting. Very interesting thing about all the. It's very funny in the original art design. All of the Turks' suits like fit like shit. Like everybody's pants are way too baggy, and their like coats are all untucked. And don't look in. That's definitely something they fixed in the remake. Everybody's, you know, fit is a lot tighter.
Yeah, boom. We just hear Shinra building.
Yep. No fucking with the golden shiny wire of hope. And I mean, not that was a fucking like timing platforming puzzle in the original, right? There's no real point in it. You know, remake takes a lot of those transitional zones and turns them into proper dungeons, which is cool. But
Yeah.
I think we can appreciate the other way around of just like, no, just go to Shira building.
Yeah, you made it.
Fine.
See, and then we just skip the fucking
Skip the fucking stealth segment, the stairs.
You're just in it. Reeve.
Good old Reeve. Ooh, we're gonna get some good Reeve in Rebirth too.
God, President Shinra just.
Yeah.
There's just something about a guy who is just so detached from reality that fucking. It just throws me off.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got some normal ass backstory stuff. Like I think he's like technically like the second generation of Shinra or whatever.
Mm.
But like, oh boy, President Shinra, just a fucker. You know, Shinra started as a weapons manufacturing plant, so they've got like his gold-plated guns with his name on them in his museum. By the way, I love that about Remake that they changed one of the floors from being just the records room into he built a fucking like Disney World to himself in there, where it's just like, look at all our fine creations, look at all this history of the Shinra Company, with all the fucking heads of service doing little messages. The only one who's really trying, by the way, I think is Heidegger. No, Reeve's trying. Reeve's trying very hard. Hojo literally, his like recorded dialogue is like, what do you want me to record? Ooh, boy, this fucking 2D image of Hojo, Jesus.
Yeah, no.
That man is all angles. Ugh. But like, Hojo's recording is just like, not that you'd understand any of the thing I do, but you know, we fucking don't bother me, okay? We're doing research. Ooh,
Yes,
okay,
you're fucking. Ugh, breeding her. No one seems to have a problem with this.
Yeah, not in the original script. That's the thing I do appreciate about remake. Oh wow, they're keeping with the. Okay, we're just straight up not changing the plot. Okay.
Yeah.
In remake they change it to make more sense because, you know, in the original I don't think it makes fucking sense that Hojo thinks that Red 13 and Aerith can successfully crossbreed. He is a cat dog. But like the thing he pitches, if people don't remember the meeting in remake, is he says maybe crossing her with a soldier type, one of the S or G types. And to be fair, while nobody tells him, Hojo, that's fucking gross, everybody in the room just goes like, ugh, and looks away from him. Like, they can't really say that he, like, from a scientific standpoint, like, his plan to, like, reproduce more specimens is probably, like, scientifically sound, but all of them are just like, oh, God, Hojo, fuck, man. Why you gotta tell me this shit? I didn't want to hear that. And even the president's just, like, puts down his cigar and is just like, fucking whatever, Hojo, get out of here. Go back to your science. Ugh. God, I hope we do Beach Hojo. I don't know how the fuck we're gonna get away with the entire squad not just doing the fucking JoJo kicking meme to him on the beach, but like, God, I hope we get Beach Hojo. So fucking stupid. Also, please, volleyball minigame. Or maybe soccer. There's actually like a little funny soccer interlude you can do in Costa del Sol. Some kids are kicking a ball, and you can and Red 13's tail is like kicking it back, so you can actually like, you know, play a little bit of soccer with him. That could be a cool, cute minigame.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, the kids just keep kicking it back to his tail.
Yeah, he bounces it back. You can get into that action too and do a kick. I wonder if they'll recycle the basketball minigame. Because there were plans. You remember when you go topside to Jesse's place?
Yeah.
There's a shockingly detailed basketball court there. They originally were going to have Cloud basically kill time by shooting some hoops, but then they realized, wait, we're trying to, you know, we're out after dark. We're trying not to raise a scene in this neighborhood. It would be very silly if Cloud was loudly blasting backboards. You know, that would not make sense. So they scrapped it, but I hope they still have the mechanics and the physics so that we can do that later. Go play some fucking b-ball.
Oh, Crisis.
If nothing else, they can probably make it work in Gold Saucer.
Oh, okay. So, oh, they only had that one bit of Crisis Core. Interesting.
Okay.
Because you basically just get to the end of the Wutai mission and find the Genesis clones, and that's where you at.
Yeah. And that's literally just the first mission in Crisis Core. And there he is, Babu Sephiroth.
Babu Sephiroth. Some people have been going wild on the internet.
Yeah. I would have tried to get a shot of him in the thumbnail, but there's not, like, nobody's got a good isolate of him yet. It's just the trailer shots and stuff. At least on a casual look. But yeah, I am kind of hopeful they can. I think they showed the logo for Before Crisis, but I would really hope they can cover that at some point in here because, like I said, that was from the. That was a game you could play on your flip phone in the early to mid 2000s in Japan only. So I would love to see them actually cover that kind of stuff. Dog. Definitely from the back loft. I think he looks more like Sephiroth when you can see his face because he's still got his fucking slit pupil eyes. But yeah, he does kind of channel some of the Riku energy with that haircut. He hasn't yet grown out his hair and started using entire bottles of conditioner. That is actually a rumor in Crisis Core, by the way, everybody. That Sephiroth goes through an entire bottle of shampoo and conditioner every time.
I believe it. He's soldier first class. He can afford it.
He makes the big bucks. And also, I'm pretty sure Sephiroth doesn't ever spend money on anything else. Maybe that's something we'll get into in Ever Crisis, but like, I'm pretty sure the implication of the times you like quote unquote hang out with him is Zack, that like the man doesn't do anything outside of work. We should be lucky he has a cell phone.
Honestly, I'm gonna be real. The cell phone thing, it probably really just came up because cell phones, like, at that time were becoming a fucking thing. That's why everyone fucking had one.
Yeah, like, and I think it also kind of became part of the metaphor. Like, that was literally a metaphor in Advent Children, was the fact that Cloud, like, he had a cell phone but refused to answer it.
Mm-hmm.
He just, like, got everything via voicemail because he was going through his mad depressive episode.
He was very sad.
And then there's literally a moment later where they go back to the Forest of the Ancients, you know, and Vincent bails him out of some shit, and Cloud's like, hey, Vincent, can I borrow your phone? And Vincent just, like, he pulls back his cloak to show you all of his fucking belt pouches, none of which contain a cell phone. Keep in mind that the original actor for Vincent Valentine in the dub was Steve Bloom, so, like, he's just like, I don't have a phone. And Cloud's just like, well, shit, guess I have to call it myself. And then when they do the big team-up fight versus Bahamut Sin, he literally introduces himself by, like, blocking an attack for somebody and being like, where can I buy a phone? God, I love Vincent so much. I can't wait to see him in remake. I hope they keep his, like, high level of goth energy, but also the fact that he is a complete loser. Like, well, first of all, I mean, we know Vincent's a loser because somehow he managed to get cucked by Hojo of all people. But, I love that, like, Vincent is a huge, like, melodramatic, Byronic dork. You know, he's like, no, my sins are too great. Leave me to my coffin. Go away. Let my torment not be disturbed. And then they're just like, I think the thing that gets him interested is, like, Cloud turns around to the other guys in the original 7 and is like, well, he's not Sephiroth, so we need to fucking leave. And then Vincent's like, yo, dog, did you say Sephiroth? And Cloud's like, yeah, I kind of have a thing. And he's like, cool, I'm in. I'm part of your party now. If you guys are going after Sephiroth, that means I'll meet him. So I can only, especially after seeing what they've done with Yuffie so far, I can only imagine what the remake timeline's gonna do with Vincent. I'm also very curious to see. I know I've said this before, but I'm just thinking about it. I'm very curious to see how we're gonna handle Sid, because, like, Sid very much has the anime old man vibes, where, like, he's only like 35. Actually, I think he's like 32, and Barrett's 35. He's not even the oldest guy, but, like, he projects crotchety old man vibes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they're gonna, like, tighten that up a little. But also, like, I imagine that his dialogue probably can't be quite as, at least implied to be as vulgar as it was in the text before. He had a lot of censor boxes. And I assume hopefully they're gonna, like, rewrite his relationship with Shara a little bit. Cause, like, he's a little, like, unnecessarily abrasive to her in the original text, considering their whole deal. Like, there is a reason for why, like, Shira's all up in his business and he's, like, mad at her, but, like, there are also some other moments where, like, it's if you, like, having seen some people replay it recently, it's like, this feels a little, considering that Sid's supposed to be one of the quote-unquote good guys, it feels a little off. They could probably tighten that up a little. Maybe they do some of the reveals a little sooner, because it does make sense, because, like, ultimately, like, it's not 100% Shira's fault that, like, the launch got canceled. It's because Sid was enough of a nice guy to not, like, melt her in a rocket engine, even though she was like, nah, Captain, listen, if you gotta blow my ass up to go to space, do it. And he's just like, are you fucking high right now? No, I'm not gonna do that.
I don't think any sane person would do that.
You say that, but the people in Rocket Town are fucking crazy.
They kind of are.
They really
true.
want to go to space. They're weirdos. But yeah, I also wonder if they're gonna let Sid smoke in the remake.
Oh, I think they are.
Like, he's fully a grown-ass man. Like I said, he's in his 30s. So I'm hoping they'll keep it, because it is part of his character. And also, he can't do that one limit break he does where he lights the stick of dynamite on his cigarette if he's not smoking. which I do hope they keep. Maybe not as one of his limit breaks, as one of his weapon techs is just the fucking dynamite. I think they only ever censored his smoking in Kingdom Hearts, where he switched to a toothpick.
I'm gonna be real. I
Like
can
I
also
said.
see Sid with a toothpick.
I mean, that also works. They gave him a southern accent for some reason in the first round of dubs. Which, again, doesn't make any gosh darn sense geographically for Gaia, but, like, works for his character archetype. Howdy, I'm Sid. I want to go to space. You want to fly my tiny Bronco? Yeehaw, dynamite. Actually, no, it should be Yeehaw, Mirage Dive. I'm a Dragoon, don't you know?
I guess they're trying to get that minor vibe. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, he's got a little bit of that little bit for the not quite because he's not like that much of a smarty pants, but a little bit of the Southern fried genius. Like he's a down to earth working boy who's just doing his best out here to aviate.
You know, it's October Sky. You know, it's October Sky all over again. Born in a mining town, wants to go to space.
Yeah. That's good old character stuff. Though, speaking of Final Fantasy characters, not necessarily 7, you know, just some fun updates for everybody. The Final Fantasy 16 Ultimania came out.
Yes.
I don't know if they simul-translated it.
They didn't. I don't think they did. I think it's only in Japanese. But we have someone being dedicated and giving out translations where they can.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't eventually show up in English as well, because I think for like the first time ever, 7 Rebirths Ultimania ended up coming out here as well, but it took them like a year to translate everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of lore. Like, you know, as always, the Ultimania guides are basically like, hey, here's all the stuff we wrote in the backdrop that we just didn't fit into the game. There's some very interesting stuff in there. First of all, everybody has canonical ages. By the time you fight him, I think Barnabas is like 60. So he's balling. Dion is the same age as Joshua, which was interesting to learn. Also, I mean, I know it's because they didn't give her different models, but when you meet her post time skip, Duchess Annabella is 51. Those fucking Phoenix genes, they're pretty good. But yeah, there's also some interesting like timeline stuff that's just kind of, you know, weird. Like the Ultimania guide says that like Barnabas hired like Sid as his, you know, commander of the armies deliberately so that Sid would realize there was a deeper plan with Ultima and then quit. Because he was basically trying to arrange a lot of tension in the world so that Mythos could eat better, basically. Like, he knew that Sid leaving would fuck up Benedicta's shit and also, like, put Sid on, like, a conflict point and stuff like that. So, like, lots of weird little details. But yeah, it's real interesting to see all the stuff being translated. They've got, like I said, everybody ages, general timeline stuff. Lots of little notes about like the plans and relationships and so on and so forth. Like they kind of explained like what was up with the Fallen. Apparently the Fallen were the first tribe of humans to like develop free will and go away from Ultima's plan. But they were ultimately defeated by Ultima's followers, who became like the normal ass civilization. So that's pretty interesting. Like I said, I hope we get a full English release over here and can check it out. But it's always nice to get those little tidbits.
Oh yeah. Square's usually been pretty good about releasing just all the supplementary material at some point.
Yeah.
It just might take them a while to do it.
Yeah, and well, like, can't remember, was it? I think this was about 16. This is part of the 16 press release, but Square has straight up admitted that, like, as a company, they've grown beyond just the Japanese audience, right?
Right.
Like they said at some point, and like I said, I think this was during the press cycle for 16, that they can't just make games to come out in Japan anymore because that won't sustain their business long term. So I think that, like, by admitting that and doing more, they're like, no, our global audience exists, and we should, you know, do products that cater to them as well as our, like, Japanese hardcore. So they've been getting better about side releases, translated multimedia shit. Hell, even just, like, sending guys abroad, like, you know, Yoshi P's been in America, what, like 3 or 4 times this year for 16 and for 14 press.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, they know what's up. They're getting out there. They're putting people out there, you know, releasing interviews and stuff, and it's all good. Oh, interesting. When was this interview? Sorry, I'm speaking of 14. I just saw a news story pop up. Basically, somebody in an interview asked Yoshi P if the game would ever go fully free to play, and he basically said no. They basically spent too much money on overall, like, doing each of the expansions and stuff, so they still need the revenue back from you know, those little slices now and then. They probably will continue to expand the free trial, but the game will never have, like, a minimalist, pure free-to-play version. There will still probably be, like, a level and story cap. Yeah, makes sense. That's what they're doing. They know what's up. We got a graphic for 6.5, I believe, in the last week.
Called Growing Light. I'm excited.
Yeah, I don't. So, you know, like I said, I don't want to be spoiled, but I'm still wondering: are we still in the phase where we're, like, wrapping up stuff from Endwalker, or has it reached the point where it's time to start introducing stuff for Dawn Trail?
We're about to hit that point of introducing stuff for Dawn Trail. It was only in the last expansion that we got our first hints of what's going to be coming in Dawn Trail, but it was nothing concrete. So I'm expecting that with Growing Light, we will probably hit on it more. Like I said, I'm very curious to see what happens to one of the characters that you have gotten to know in this expansion.
Yeah, because I've. Oh, no, go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, you can keep going.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I've noticed the pattern with the way the patch content, you know, the bridge content works, where usually the first segment of it, I won't say necessarily the first half because it's not always even, but the first segment of it is usually, like, wrapping up plot points that were left hanging from when you rolled credits on the expansion as it dropped, and then the next bit is like, hey, by the way, we need you to go do stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes those are a little closer than others. Like, I think AAR's bridge into Heavensward, kind of like, that's more of a, like, multiple lines kind of overcrossing, in that, like, you are simultaneously doing stuff to set up, you know, basically opening Ishgard, while also you're doing the Crystal Braves thing, which is kind of like the climax for, like, hey, why the fuck do we need to go hide out at Ishgard? Well, some stuff happened. But it's still, like, those two distinct plot lines, and then obviously, you know, the go into Stormblood has those moments of, like, hey, let's resolve, you know, this bullshit with Nidhogg and all the other stuff, and then also we need to set up for liberating Alamigo. The Stormblood content so far is really interesting because, much like how Stormblood as an X-Pack was actually, like, split between two distinct areas, like two distinct sections of the world, it seems like the patch content is as well, where, like, the first bit was the usual epilogue, immediate aftermath of, you know, wrapping up the X-Pack. You know, okay, we've liberated Alamigo. What the fuck are we going to do about this? What do we do with, you know, Fordola and all that other stuff?
Mhm.
And then, we kind of hit a point where that hit a cap. Did some personal stuff with, Raban's arc. Also very glad to see Nanamo back in the story again. Nice little moments with her. And now the story is like, all right, cool. We got to go back to the other side of the world. We got to go back to Othard for stuff. And work up on those unresolved plot points. And then, at some point, that'll all be done. And it'll be like, okay, Shadowbringers. And that I'm very interested because, like I said on our Wednesday stream, there's a little bit of a contention point about the actual patch content and ongoing content with Endwalker, but Endwalker obviously has a lot of story positives for it, but also is kind of like a climax that needs everything for it. But Shadowbringers is also pretty universally praised as just a rip-roarer of a time. So I'm ready to see what's going on there.
I'm excited for you to get in there.
Yeah. I do have to block out some time for some other stuff, but I'll keep on leveling. I'm not even sure. I mean, it'll probably be back to Dragoon just because usually playing DPS is easier. Not sure what class I would primarily go through Shadowbringers for. I could juice up Dark Knight, but people also want... Well, people want to see me play through the Dark Knight class stuff, but also the timing on that has been a little awkward. People voted for me to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Instead last month. And at least a decent number of them showed up, including some new people, but still, it's funny how the shake out there, but I'm poised to level Dark Knight if I need to. I should probably I suspect well, not 100%. Sometimes just being able to, win DPS races with solo duties and stuff works too, but there are times when I've definitely felt like doing a solo duty as a DPS, I'm like, boy, this solo content will be a lot easier if I could control Enmity better. If I could just be like, hey, assholes, over here. Please fight me. And as a poor Dragoon, I'm just like, I guess I just poke you with my stick harder. Stop it. Stop that. But yeah, I'm still doing my grinds and leveling everybody up. I've got most of my off classes past the 65 mark, so we're trucking. Paladin's at like 68.
Trucking.
I signed in and did like one daily today. The boys are in Crow Casual now doing some. Speaking of Shadowbringers, they're doing some Shadowbringers farming. They were doing some Party Finder stuff.
Oh, cool! Really?
Grabbing some dudes, hunting for some mats and some stuff.
Oh, neat. Oh, I didn't realize. I saw they were in there. I was like, I shouldn't bother them. I know usually when I get into calls, I'm like, I usually get loud and in charge. They don't need that all the time. So I was like, all right, I'll stay back.
Yeah,
did other stuff.
I poked in earlier, and I couldn't join them for stuff, but I just wanted to see what they was doing and hang out for a little bit. But also, I was busy because I was working on more Gensakai stuff.
Gensakai!
That reminds me, I still haven't written the description to set up for the next AP. The AP is uploaded. It was uploaded a little late, but I'll probably get that put out tomorrow. Don't want to overflow you guys with videos all in one day. I'll throw it out there tomorrow.
Ooh, now we can get limit breaks. Yes. Let's go.
Ooh, nice. You can acquire limit breaks.
Yeah, no. Here's another little fun thing. Yep. But they have something called character streams here, which basically mean like, whoops, actually, well, I can just go back. It's just a little level up grid where you spend more resources, but again, people might think it's a lot, but it's really not. It's like you just got to go.
It's the kind of thing where if you've never played one of these games before, you don't realize that they're usually like that. But yeah, it's just kind of the system, and I don't know if Ever Crisis is really that bad.
Okay, so I have to. Is it better though? 1,000, but 700 to all. Interesting. Just leveling up everybody. You can see who I play with most. Cloud with 2 flowers on each side. What a flower on each side. Oh, actually, that reminds me. Oh, I need 20. Okay. When do I unlock summons? Trial of Ifrit. Normal. Well, when do I do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't see any of this
Ifrit is
stuff.
the starter.
Mm.
You just gotta go further down some things.
Yep. Probably.
Sorry, slight yawn there.
Big yawn.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I've been feverishly working on Gensekai stuff all week.
Feverishly.
Yeah. I know that there's still some pull for Rain and stuff, and obviously Lucky also wants me to get back to Singularity War, and I'm sure that will happen, like we said, in tune with the general vibes around Phantom Liberty. But I do not want to leave Rain hanging too long, so I think I want to dedicate some time to finishing out some more of my general fluff and taking more notes once I'm all caught up with all the Gensekai content I want to lay out. But I'm very excited for you guys to actually go to Ombre and get in there, because that is a pretty decent chunk of stuff I had in mind for that area and around there. So not as in-depth as the like multiple quest lines you guys got in Venitus, but a little bit more than kind of like the 1 or 2 biggish things, and then a handful of little small notes that were in like a couple of the other places you went, like Tay and even Sapphire Isle.
Okay.
So it's chunky. My main thing right now is, as usual, the writing process is, okay, so technically there's 3 separate forks you guys could go on, but because I have to write things in a linear order, I started with the longest and most complex of the third, so, like, I don't know if by Sunday, like, there'll be even an intro setup to some of these things, so I might have to steer you guys a little.
Oh, we'll see. Like, we already have plans to try and get in some good roleplay, so that might take up a good chunk.
Yeah, I don't actually. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys will actually get to Ombre here, but you have like another full day of travel, so that'll probably be. I'll roll it out again.
So clearly, what we need to do is shopping when we get there. That'll eat up the time.
I mean, you have discussed that, and you do have to sell stuff at least there. Yep. So, we can kill some more time with some role playing, and like I said, I have all my intro stuff to the split. It's just the like, it's the classic game master's trick of, well, hey guys, I only have so many hours in the day because I'm like trying to play other video games and like, not die and do work on other shit. So like one of these doors is still closed, but you can open these other doors. But yeah, like I said, I think I've got the intro stuff good. And if you guys go down the one that, like I said, I've been working on first, that one's pretty deep. Got some actual like exploring and dungeoning to do, which is great because I get to do puzzles.
Yay, puzzles.
I so rarely. I mean, I could do more, but I'm of a personal opinion when it comes to like tabletop RPGs. Game masters should be careful about puzzles. You don't want to. There's way too many puzzles which test your character's out of character brain knowledge. And I to an extent, some of those are some like that, but some of it also has a decent amount of. Sorry, I was just completely flummoxed by that scene for a second. just a monster attacking a normal ass motorboat.
Oh, it wasn't attacking it.
Oh, is it? Okay. Making out with the motorboat. All right. But like, when I do get to do more like puzzles, which I prefer like logic puzzles and stuff like that, not necessarily riddles, but sometimes that works. But I've done it a couple of times to success with the guys, and you guys are very interested in hitting them. So I'm glad I've got a reason to actually like bust out a couple.
Yeah, I remember you had one at the fucking the Lantern Fruit temple. That was really cool. I remember it, but I can't actually remember what it was. Back in Star Wars, I think that was like the last big puzzle you gave us. I think.
Yeah, there were a couple like that. Yeah, because you guys did do some ruin hopping in Star Wars, so.
Alright, you guys need to fucking focus on the Baylor Queen here. Thank you.
Yep. That is a thing, by the way. Your buddies are AI, but you can tap enemies to have them focus.
Well, actually, you can also just, like, switch over to them at any point, too, but...
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm running on auto right now, and the AI is actually very competent.
Yeah, like I said, I've only done, like, the first chapter, but I feel like, you know, they had Barrett, like, pretty routinely target the weaknesses of enemies and stuff like that. Gun! Oh, shit, he's got a knife gun. He remembers the basics of CQC.
Just punch.
You know, just fucking get in there and just fucking shoulder check a giant monster. He's got them big hammers. But yeah, so it'll be nice to introduce some concepts to y'all, throw you guys some puzzles.
Yeah.
Throw some fun fights in there. As always, I'm trying to experiment, as always, with my encounter design. As people will see when they actually get to the next AP, that has a more straightforward dungeon run. I would say the Heart of the Island you guys did is kind of a dungeon, was much more vibe-oriented than anything else.
Oh, it was a vibe. I hated it.
Just me smiling and nodding, chat. Do a thumbs up. Yeah, that one didn't have any, like, skill challenges or puzzles or anything. It was just a couple of fights, some weird loot, and then just me going on a fucking tear with the box text.
You really did, the more I think about it.
I do occasionally like to remind people, like I said, despite my opinions and personal just feelings and interactions with the way FromSoft's games play, I do actually generally like what parts of the lore and stuff they actually remember to fucking write down for those games. So, like, I have gone on some draws in some very, you know, Dark Souls directions before. And you know, some other, you know, stuff to get in there. So, yeah, no, there's a lot in there. And also, you know, hell, even just 14's dungeons. 14 has some dungeons for some fucked up stuff.
Oh.
There's been what, 7 calamities?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of previous epochs of fucked up shit that have happened. So, you know, we can throw in a few of those. Ooh, okay, can I retweet that? That's a shot from the material book of Morgan with her hair down.
Nice.
But yeah, so lots of fun stuff to come there. And like I said, good to introduce some character concepts I've had sitting on the back burner for a long time, and just get into some stuff and some fluff.
Some stuff and fluff. Alright, you're at 27. So I'm guessing I need to actually do some grinding now. Because I do enjoy it. They do give you a recommended power level for everything, so you don't just have to run in blind and hope you can do it. But when that
that's good.
The number's red, I'm like, I gotta go do something about that.
Classic.
So now it's time for the grind.
Doing content. I'll probably spend plenty of time before game tomorrow trying to wrap up some stuff and making sure all my ducks are in a row. Indeed. Don't know what I'm going to do after Stram. I do want to poke Ever Crisis some more. I haven't done that yet today.
All right, well, let me show you guys the gacha, because I find it quite silly.
Yeah, let's do a pull.
But hang on one second here, because I need more Tifa weapons, so I'm going to actually... Let's see here, so Aerith... Switch that out, and then...
Oh yeah, no, this has a gotcha. It's for weapons and gear mostly. It is a little weird, but I think it doesn't like hurt or anything.
I think everyone... Yeah, it's mostly Tifa who needs stuff right now. We'll set that. And then... Tindros.
But yeah, I know that we're actually like got some setup. We wanted to do some
Step challenge. Yeah, you gave me one again, you sons of bitches. But it's mine.
Yeah.
All right, now I just go on save because I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those games where it's like, are we gonna do? The gotcha screens, by the way, are incredibly over the top. Like you said, the animation is just... I don't know why they've done this.
Tap! Nine critical, baby! And then from the Mego that releases, you get shit.
Yeah, you go to the fucking Undercastle and you beat the shit out of an Iron Colossus. I'm lucky I only got 2 perps.
Yeah, no legendaries, but whatever. Rest in peace. Oh, it's the fucking purple Marasana. Interesting. Well, that'll get turned into something. Enhanced sword. Oh wow, look at the fucking the light on that. That was wild.
Yeah.
Regular ass Murasame. Ah, fuck, I'm just gonna skip.
You know, your Murasame is gonna get some shit.
Yeah,
I'm
but
still not feeling well.
Yep, and I got... Yeah! Murasame Battle Guard. Yep, so that's that. So let's go to Pate.
I could see doing some stuff, or maybe finishing out my 14 dailies.
I'm not sure
or
what
I
I'm
could
gonna
get
do.
some Sea of Stars in.
I might do some Sea of Stars. I did also finally did install Tabletop Simulator, and I did get the Flamecraft game in there. I was fiddling around with it a little bit so I could see how it works. I think I got the initial gist.
Yeah, and we could fire that up though. Also, Loth is saying in chat that he's still...
Yeah, and Loth did say, well, he really did want to play, so...
I mean, I know Loth will tell us not to wait up because he's sick, but we might wait up anyway.
Yeah, fuck you, Loth. We're gonna wait.
we'll wait up for him. We can do some other stuff. Like I said, I only did, I literally only did, like... Oh, he says he can play despite being sick. Okay, then maybe we will.
Okay.
Hold on a second, chat. I have to re-tighten my my mic stand. Options furled.
Yeah.
Just trying to kick back and relax.
Yeah, I just gotta keep leveling more weapons. It looks like.
Well, you know, it is a phone game, so there's got to be something in there.
Yep.
Oh, that's fine, Loth. You can mute to cough. You probably don't even have to mute to cough.
We don't care that much. Oh, I got 50 fucking stamina tokens. You know, I think I'll be okay. Let's just get the grind set going.
All right, yeah. Spend your stamina. But yeah, so I have been I have not, I won't say I've like fully dropped Armored Core, but because I have been so ham blasted on other projects, I have not like sat down and played a lot of Armored Core to try and beat Boltius. I have been like tasking of like watching shit, grinding FGO, and playing Sea of Stars because Sea of Stars is turn-based. Though there are there is a requirement for you to have active inputs. So I have been playing that pretty regularly. I am about 6 or 7 hours in. And I mean the short version is the game is good. I mean, you guys probably already knew that. I think we talked last week or 2 weeks ago about the Metacritic score.
Mm-hmm.
Like, very positively reviewed. But no, the game is very solid. It is, like I said, properly turn-based, but does, call on you to do a little bit of active input. So it's got, a timed hit battle system to keep in mind. But yeah, all in all, very, very positive.
Cactar!
Oh, there he is.
Sorry, it's a rare counter, apparently. Just give him the stab.
But the only thing I will say is I do, like a lot of RPGs, it does have kind of that early game rough spot. I actually was getting my ass kicked for a little bit, like in the lead up to what I would say is probably like the second dungeon.
Which one's that? Because I did put in some hours yesterday.
Yeah, so at the part where I was having trouble was the second island, basically, after you get done with Elder Mist.
Okay.
In the lead up to the Mole Mountain.
I have not gotten past Elder Mist. I'm in the Elder Mist trials right now.
Yeah. That part I found the enemies scaled up a little fast. They gave me some tough runs. But the next time, the moment you can get to the second town, this is something I really like. So there's, I think I mentioned it last week, but there's these things called relics.
Yep.
The relics are basically like your permanent quality of life little things.
Yeah.
The first two they give you by default is one is basically the story mode switch that a lot of games have. You get double max HP and automatically heal all your HP after every fight. Not your MP, but your HP. If you want a more casual RPG type experience, like you still have the difficulty in the fights, though with double HP you're a lot more hardy. And you don't need to worry about like that constant grind down, but still got some stuff. The other one, which I have on all the time, is just gives you a little colored star when you correctly execute a timed attack.
I'm very good with attacks. I'm horrible at fucking blocks.
Yeah, blocks are... I mean, I know why they're designed this way, but the enemies are designed to fuck with you with blocks. This is part of the reason why I was getting my ass kicked in that second zone. In that area, there are little burrowing antlion guys. They will burrow up to you. They will then go clap, clap. They will like clap their pincers twice, then bite you, and I always get bamboozled. So like they are all like a lot of extra effort was put into giving them all like individual animations and timing frames, but it does make some parts to autopilot the game a little harder. The main thing is when you get to that second town, there are also more relics to buy, which have different features. One of them is just like a general like 33% damage reduction. Yeah, some attacks you block multiple times because they have like multiple hits. You just gotta go with the flow. There's one that gives you like a 30% chance of auto blocking.
Oh, that's neat.
There's a relic which makes you always execute the second hit. It's just that you do less damage if you don't also do the timed input correctly. That I turned on just for ease of use because my one, like, I guess I could call it a complaint. Like, the one thing that doesn't feel great about combat so far is, so enemies will do special attacks, right?
Yep.
They'll have this little roulette of interrupts to throw up. Some of these enemies, I want to ask the developers how the fuck I am supposed to hit all these attack combos sometimes. Like, they'll give you some weird ones like, hey, this guy has a 2-turn timer before he executes, and you have to hit him with, like, sword, lunar, solar. And as far as I don't think combo points carry over between battles.
No, they do not.
Yeah, so I think the only way you could possibly do that is to do a combo attack. But it's literally the first move that enemy's doing in the fight, so I don't have any combo points, so I'm just like, all right, guys, I'm not sure what to do with this. You do get partial credit. There is, like, partial reductions of their power. I do think it's kind of interesting that even when those guys are, like, 4 signs deep, if you get 3 out of the 4, it's usually still only, like, down to 60% power. But depending on what you're doing, there's kinds of stuff that's just, like, some of these combinations are a little impractical. They are, I think, slightly randomized, so it's just, like, yeah, that's just not easy for me to hit. So, like, I turned on the always do 2 hits because I'm like, all right, some of these combos are hard enough without me having to, like, time hits to always get double sword or whatever.
Yeah, no.
And I mean, there are other times where it's really easy to exploit. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, no, I do find it kind of weird that they say that, yeah, getting the double hit is not required, but I'm, like, looking at here, it's like, if I do not get this double hit, I'm gonna get my ass blasted. Because they get, like, those enemies do hit hard.
Yeah.
Like, if you get, like, slapped, like, 3 or 4 times, you're just down. Not, like, forever, because, you know, you will get back up, but that ruins your action economy. Like, a lot.
Yeah, you can get quite a lot of enemies on screen, especially because, that is the nature of the special attack that the antlion enemies do in that second area, the Moorlands. They will just summon more guys if you don't stop them.
Do you get more XP?
Super fun. You do get more shit out of it, but it's definitely like a thing where it's like, ooh, baby, this can get bad fast.
Because this is the problem. This is the question I have. Like, from what I can tell, I haven't figured out how to way to just sit down and grind. Like, in case I want to try, you know, maybe just, you know, mindlessly grind for a while. Like, it just seems like when you clear out an enemy's in area, you're done. I'm just like, oh.
I think, and it might only be once you get through the Elder Mist Trials, but I think when you leave and go to the world map and then step back to that previous zone, enemies will reload.
Okay.
So you can do a little bit of grinding.
Okay.
But yeah, like there's a few of these awkward tricks in there. You know, and I think part of it is the game you know, one of the reasons why enemies do a lot of damage. They have put some effort into this food system. They want you to, you know, be eating food, though that does take a turn, so that can be awkward with the way, again, some of these clocks are fast.
Oh, yeah.
Like, sometimes you'll get, like, 3 or 4 enemies who are all like, 1 clock, baby, you get 1 action, and then we're just like, damn. You know, there's some stuff in there. Though the game is very nice, and it does give you 2 healers and a heal everybody combo move very early. Because, you know, Zane the Solar Monk has a very cheap MP-wise healing ability, and Garl has Nourish as well, which, by the way, has a timed element.
No, they all do,
very
actually.
bad at it.
Yeah, they all do. The heal, if you push X at when the light basically reaches the top, you get the star.
Ah, okay, it's at the top. Yeah, I've ever since I figured out that you can do a perfect timing on Garl's Nourish, I was like, okay, so the regular healing light has to happen. I just have no idea when this timing box is.
Yeah.
I've gotten down the timing to do the fucking Solar Blast perfect. It's on your 4th charge.
Is
it on
the 4th? I think I've been doing it on the 3rd. Because I do know if you do it too long, you'll actually shrink again.
Yeah, it goes like, it starts. I mean, technically, it's the 3rd size up it gets. You know, it starts and then it's 1, 2, 3, and then let go on that biggest.
Okay, maybe I am doing it right then.
Yeah.
Wait, does it give the star if you do it right?
Yes.
Okay, I have not been doing it right because I have not been getting the star.
Yeah,
okay.
then you probably need to hold it for 1 more and big, and then when you get that 4th side, just let it rip.
Let it go.
And that's I mean, it costs a lot of MP, but that's a really good move. Like that gets guys good. And this is another thing I like about the game. Like, it's not like a perfect solution to everything. They still throw some stuff at you, but the tutorials are very informative and very straight up to you of like, okay, you're going to want to, you know, here's how you do timed hits and timed blocks. Keep your eye up for these things. Make sure you're following, you know, everybody's attacks in your own. Here's how you interrupt stuff. Also, hey, don't hoard MP. You regenerate MP through basic attacks. Don't hoard it. It is much better to start early and fire off a spell and then regain that MP later than it is to just sit on it and get your ass kicked.
I don't know. I think that's a bit of a lie because remember, your attacks and your fucking healings is on the same fucking pool, and you only get like those 2. And if you run out of if you're running out of food or you don't have food that's good enough, if you fire off your, because like I'm in the early thing, I can either fire off 1 sunball or like maybe 2 heals. That's it. With things. So like I can understand that they're saying they can say, yeah, no, like don't hoard it, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna hoard it just in case I need a fucking heal because like I said, sometimes you get your ass clapped.
Yeah, well, and I think it gets a little looser as you go on, but it's and also as you get more MP.
Yeah.
You know, this is something also I do like. Level ups are a little customizable.
I do like that.
Pick a few things. You get a little bit of passive gain and everything, but then you can be like, oh, you got an extra MP point, you got some extra health and stuff. But like, there is a decent amount, and I think the idea is basically what they're trying to say is like, hey, when you're clustered up with a lot of dudes, don't be afraid to start hot and heavy and like clobber him with a Moonerang or a Crescent Arc or a Solar Blast if you can get multiple targets, right? Like,
Well, yeah, no, I'm not gonna like
if you can get AoEs off, you should do it because
Yeah.
there are some times with enemy placement that's not great, and I think that's what Garl's Hurl is for, is to like
reposition them. Yeah.
fix enemy placement. I almost never find myself using that, mostly because like I can still either heal or just hit with a basic attack or something. Like I like that there's a lot of tactical stuff in here, but for most like field encounters, it's definitely like I don't really feel like I got a lot of time to fuck around. Like enemies are going to start clock ticking right away, and I should probably get going a little. But there's a lot of options. There's a lot of customization and stuff with like the relics and things. There's a decent amount of flexibility with all the little accessory slots you got. You know, this is the thing they add later is you can get some like overworld powers to do some puzzles and shit, which I appreciate. You know, the extra interactivity. And all in all, the game is just beautiful. Like I wasn't expecting like the little animated cutscenes they have, but they're all like really nice. There's a secret shop. I'll have to keep an eye out for that. I mean, naturally, there's some sort of secret shop, but yeah. Right now, I'm picking up a lot of rainbow conch shells, and I'm just like, when will this be relevant? But I will say, like I said, it's got those very classic RPG vibes. Definitely feels like it came, you know, fresh off the SNES or PS1 of my memories. But it has a lot of the classic RPG encounter curve where there are times when you're like, oh boy, where's the next campfire? Oh boy, I need to take a nap. When's the next campfire? Though obviously it has an autosave, so you know it's depending on what you're doing. If you do get clobbered, it's not like you lose a lot of progress. You can't like accidentally waste 2 hours because you forgot to talk to a book, you know.
Oh, what?
The town's huge.
Mama Poochie's streaming 7 Days to Die. That's great. Tee. Oh, I can't open it up because you don't all hear it. Which would be great, but I don't know how... I'm not supposed to do that.
Yeah, that's a little awkward.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think the 25 hit moon. That's a test of reflexes. There's a trophy if you get 25 hits with the Moonerang.
I wish it would tell me how many hits I get, because I'm just smacking back and forth. I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, it would be nice if it had a counter. That'd be pretty cool. I don't know how far I've gotten. I've gotten some pretty good rips. Moonerang's just in general based because it can smack a lot of guys. But yeah, there's, you know, it's a solid game. It's really cool. There's some stuff going on. You know, check out some stuff. It does, from a writing standpoint, does kind of seem like they've got a more self-aware sort of writing style. Like, the people who made this game know about RPG cliches, and so there are some acknowledgments of those. And you talked about on I'm pretty sure this was on Mike on Let's Talk about like when you dropped out from the demo time.
Yeah.
Which is exactly where I am in the game. And like it's the kind of thing that you see coming from a mile away, but it's still kind of dumb. But the like conclusion of that exchange is like, oh yeah, hey, sorry we tricked you. Hey, do you want to play the mini game? You want to collect miniatures? Just like, what? I mean, yes, but also what? Doesn't make any goddamn sense. But you know, it's a like a retro style, you know, retro clone RPG. Of course, there's like a weird mini game you can play in taverns, and it's very fun because you get to fucking spin wheels and like, you know, set up attacks and shit. Well, yeah, I'm sure the AI has some level of cheating with the fucking... What even is it called? Is it just called wheels? I think it's called wheels because everything's it's all like wheel based and rotational. And also, I mean, it's very helpful. You can check the tutorial at any time, but I like, even after reading it, I still had to like play it to actually get it a few times because the way they describe a mechanic is they use words. Oh shit, it's Airbuster. How's he doing? Well, yeah, I think you have to do the champion matches to actually get new figures because there's only 8 figures total, at least according to the tutorial. But like, even like I said, even though the tutorial explained it, they used some words for some game mechanics that I was like, I don't actually know what the fuck you mean. I got it after playing it a few times, but they were talking about like how the symbols count, and it's like, I can't even remember what words they used to explain it. The basic idea is that the way the symbols work is you need 2 of anything for it to count. So you can get double symbols on your little wheel spin, so that works as 1. But if you want to make a 1 work, you got to get at least 2 pairs, I think is how it works. Because there are times when I would like save a single symbol and it just wouldn't do anything. So I think it's doubles only. It's like multiples. Okay, is it Threeves? It's like I said, it's written a little oddly. So I got smacked in my first ever game, but I got it eventually. But yeah, no, it's a cool game.
I'm
I
excited.
like what we got going on. Got a lot of characters and stuff. Just got some good vibes.
It has got some good vibes. I'm trying to get through as much as possible because in a few days, Enter Nights is going to be coming out, and I'm excited for that. The developer actually had an AMA. Hey, another Cactar. Hello! And I was able to actually get a question out. Didn't necessarily fill me with confidence, the answer, but I'm still about this game. I actually still need to pre-order it. It's just, I'm having that moment of I have spent so much money, I am very, very loath to spend more money.
Yep.
So I'm just like, fuck, but I need to because there's still a lot of games coming out of September. Like, Enter Nights is coming out, Phantom Liberty's coming out, Payday 3 is gonna be out. Oh, God, why? September has literally been murder for my wallet. Literally. I don't think I've spent so much money in a week in, like, years. Like, yeah, I can maybe sometimes hit this, like, over, like, maybe a couple months for, like, things, but just, oh my God. They're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah. Nah, that's pretty big.
Because I still need to pick, I missed some work. I think I am gonna go see if I can do overtime at work just so I can get something. Ugh. Hitting me. Hitting you.
And this is why your support is important, people at home. Okay, I'm gonna click this game name, and I'm gonna. No, it is indeed just what it says. I just see on the list of game releases, "You Suck at Parking," coming out September 19th, and I'm just like, okay, hold on. Oh yeah, we haven't really talked about this because I don't think either of us is like eager to jump in like launch. But Lies of P comes out this month.
Yeah, no, it do. Like I said, I think it's a good game, and it'll probably do pretty well. It's just I have way too much shit to play.
Yeah, it's still. I mean, it was good and played pretty well, but it's still, you know, having played the demo, it's still in that Souls-like category, and you know that requires dedication, which I do not have right now.
Like, I was happy I was able to actually get through 16, but I still got Armored Core, I got Sea of Stars, and don't even get me started on my fucking backlog. Fuck.
Yeah, that's about, let's see, it's the 16th, no, it's the 19th. 19th, so that's literally only just a week before Phantom Liberty.
Yeah, there's no way. Not to mention, again, I have to spend more money, like, Like, I
And
don't know,
then,
like, Loft has already said they're gonna get Payday 3, and, you know, Loft saying that they're gonna buy a game that's... Ah, tank busted!
oh shit.
But,
Shit, yeah, that is the Tank Buster, isn't it?
yeah.
I forgot about that. That's funny. I wasn't playing 14 when I've done my runs of 7.
Yeah, but when Loft says they're gonna buy a game, and it's like, oh no, I'm gonna be in there with Loft because, you know, that's important. So I gotta get Payday 3. I gotta get Phantom Liberty. I can't imagine myself not playing Phantom Liberty.
No, it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great.
I mean, like, technically, you could like kind of like wean yourself a little with just the 2.0 version.
Nah.
But still, like, no, it's gonna be.
No,
I mean, you're gonna have to start over anyway, so you might as well buy the DLC, download it all, and just do it everything fresh. You know?
Man, that's the plan. And no, it's like the thing is, like, here's the thing. I usually put everything on my fucking credit card, and my credit card is fine. I still haven't even passed the 50% mark. It's just that the 50% mark is like 9,000. Like a couple months ago, I was down to like 7,000. So I'm like, ah.
Yeah, as discussed, you're usually good about your credit card debt, so your company keeps giving you more limits. So you have a wiggle room. It's just that's not necessarily a good thing.
Yeah.
It means you do be spending.
It means I'll be spending, and like I'm trying to avoid going over. Like I never want to get like I think my credit limit's like 18.5K. I never want to go over 10K, and I just went to like 9.2K today. So and I get paid next week, although it's going to be a smaller paycheck than usual. And you know all that's going back into the credit card. It's just one of those moments I'm just like I am, you know, writhing on the ground from spending over $1,000 between because I guess I should have mentioned this. Someone did come through and found the collector's edition of P3 Reloaded. It was on Best Buy, and I was able to place a pre-order for that. That was $200 right there.
Yeah. They get a very spicy special edition, which I will not be attempting to purchase myself.
It's like I kind of wish there was only a steelbook. I would have been happy with just a steelbook, but it doesn't look like there's just a steelbook.
If there was like the $10 more or $20 more deluxe, I might consider that for a P3. But boof.
But no, like personally, like I decided to go whole hog in it because P3.
Well, and also sorry, you went whole hog. Sorry,
yeah.
You saying?
I was going whole hog because Persona 3 was my first Persona. It's a lot of people's first Persona, except for you know the people who are in like a Shin Megami Tensei beforehand and play all the weird games. So it's special to me. That's why I'm like no, I'm gonna get it. Yeah,
I am. I mean, P3 was my first as well, but I still need to know what. I mean, I'll probably have to wait until Tokyo Game Show, which is in a couple of weeks, I think. Still.
Yes.
But I still need to know what they're gonna do with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth specials because the regular pre-orders are up on like Amazon and everywhere. You can pre-order the regular version of the game on 2 discs now. No word about like deluxes or steelbooks or anything. So like I want to keep my eyes peeled on that one. I'm probably not going to be fast enough and money wherewithal enough to buy like a super expensive. But Square usually does like the couple of tiers. Like I bought the regular deluxe of 7 remake and of 16, you know, with some extra stuff. Like my cloth map of Alessia, which is very nice. So like that's something I want to keep my eyeballs on that will be coming out roughly around the same time as P3R. And well, P3 was my first Persona. I do not think that it's, you know, not worth saying that depending on how you want to call stuff, like obviously I played, you know, Pokemon earlier, but I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy VII was not only my first Final Fantasy game, I think it was my first JRPG. So like 7's a big deal for me. I have a lot of memories about that story and playing it, you know, with like you know, me and my small friends, the fact that you could fucking rename everybody. Very fun back in the day, getting
what
lost.
Was my
not being
actual
able to figure out where to
first
go.
ass JRPG? Actually, I think it was Phantasy Star. Because while my first system was a Super Nintendo, the first few games I had weren't JRPGs. I had like I had 2 games. One was like Tasmania, you know, from like Looney Tunes. It was like some weird running where we had to run down the road and eat kiwis. But
Yeah.
and then it was Mega Man X, and then I think I got like A Link to the Past, you know, a classic, and then I think I got Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. After that, I think I was able to get a Game Boy Color and got, you know, Legends, Final Fantasy Legends 2, which, you know, I like telling everyone was not actually Legends 2. It was, fuck, I can't remember. It's like Saga? It was Saga or something?
Yeah, I think it was a Saga game.
Yeah. But I remember the first one that I actually played, I knew a kid who had a Sega Genesis, and he had a Phantasy Star. I thought that game was the shit.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
I know.
Mean, I can literally push my chair back and grab the shoebox that has all my SNES carts in it and check. I don't think I had any RPGs on. I was all like, you know, because I was like, I think 4 when we first got the Super Nintendo. So like, you know, I could barely read. I don't even think I could read when I first played. Not that you need to read to play F-Zero or like Super Mario, but you know, all you need to do is understand to jump. But like, I didn't play RPG games, I think, until on my friend's PlayStation or when I got the PS2. So like, I mean, again, you can argue Pokemon. Pokemon is very RPG adjacent, but it's not quite the same thing. That was on my old Game Boy. You know, I think I played. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I played 7. And you know, we would communally all back in the day. You know, you would all communally play video games all together. When somebody got tired or fucking mad, they would pass the controller and shit like that. I think I played FF7 before I played Fire Emblem. So like, yeah, it's that one's a real type one for me. So much so that, you know, years later, one of little tiny Baby Omega's first purchases of used video games over the Amazon.com was Final Fantasy VII, because, you know, I didn't own the copy originally. I don't know the mechanics of Digimon World 3, so it might be a full Trooper G. I'm curious now, chat, so hold on. I gotta push the chair back.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking at Twitter and this man fucking shows up to a card tournament just as a sushi chef. Son of a bitch.
Oh, the best part, Lucky, is he's probably playing the sushi deck, because there is a sushi-themed Yu-Gi-Oh! Archetype called Suship, where the sushi is also naval ships.
I love it. God damn it.
We have fun in the Yu-Gi community. All right, let's hold the mic arm in here. Let's see what do we got in the fucking shoebox. Super Mario All-Stars, Earth Defense Force, Scooby-Doo Mystery. That game is hard as fuck, by the way. I could barely beat like one level. NBA Bulls versus Blazers, Turtles 4.
Hey.
Great game.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park for the Super Nintendo. Another game that was hard as fuck.
Is that the one that isn't that the one that you have the top down, but when you go into buildings, it goes in the first person?
Yes, it switches to first person.
Oh my
you will
god!
Get fucking jump scared by raptors.
Yes, I remember that one. Son of a fucking bitch.
Yeah, it's a crazy game. Super Battleship. F-Zero, Super Mario World, of course, classics. Vegas Stakes. I think that's something my father picked up, but you know, it's just virtual games.
Mm-hmm.
Demon's Crest.
Oh.
And A Link to the Past. So yeah, no RPGs, lots of action and explorer games and stuff, and like fucking hard ass games. Demon's Crest also very very tough, you know, platformer game back in the day. It was, especially considering it was basically open world. Like you could go anywhere and get your ass beat by levels you were not supposed to be at.
Oh yeah, because you could just fly anywhere, just. I tried playing Demon's
Crest. Which is great, by the way. Fucking Mode 7 Parallax world maps.
Parallax. Parallax was
beautiful
great.
game. Very interesting soundtrack. Hard as fuck.
I could always beat the fucking the opening level of Demon Crest, but I had no idea where to go after that.
Yeah, same. I remember the first area is very memorable because there's this dragon.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, okay, cool. What the fuck am I doing? And you could it was a Nintendo game, so there was a password code system, so you could just skip to the like post game and get all the crests and fuck around, but like then you don't know what the fuck you're doing anyway. I wonder if I can capture my Super Nintendo. Well, I have to make sure it works. It's shut up somewhere dry, so it probably should still, but I don't know for sure. But yeah, no, that was my foundation of gaming was all those games on the old Super Nintendo. Then one year, I think it was when I was about 10. I'd have to double check exactly because I don't think it was right away at launch. But I got a PS2, and that was a lot more eclectic. That's where we started, playing wider areas of games like P3, P4, Final Fantasy 12. I did not get into X right away, so.
I did. I tried to get that pretty quick. Same with Kingdom Hearts.
Oh yeah, Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, that was my steez right there. Kingdom Hearts 2. God, what a good game.
Let's see here.
I wonder if we'll get anything about 4 at TGS.
I don't know. No one's been. I haven't heard anyone, teasing or talking about Kingdom Hearts 4. It's just been...
Well, because I assume what's happening is it's just like 3 and FF7 Remake 1, because Nomura is pretty heavily involved in both of those things. Like, I think the way they phrased it was like, yeah, we're not getting any more extra, like, Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy 7 news until Nomura wraps Kingdom Hearts 3. And then now I think it's going the other way, where like, or maybe it was the other way around, but now it's like, okay, Nomura can't do more work on Kingdom Hearts 4 until we're done with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So, I'm glad they had an early like design trailer and had some early gameplay footage to show off, which seemed like the gameplay was going back in the KH2 direction a little more. Because like that is, and I will fight any motherfucker any day of the week. Only I won't, because I think every Kingdom Hearts fan agrees that like, the gameplay flow and design was peak at 2. Like, there are some fun extra bits, and, like, the set pieces obviously got a little crazier in, parts of 3 and stuff, but, like, ooh, the gameplay was just so good in 2. 1's a little clunky in parts, and it's got an alright foundation, but they really, good shit in 2.
I miss the drive system so much.
Oh my god, yes. No, I so miss drives. First of all, you got to actually double wield keyblades, which was fucking sick. But also, like, that as the path to like your movement abilities, like dodge, roll, and dash, and then eventually into high jump and glide, really sick.
I just remember like I can't remember the one, but the one where it was magic based. You wouldn't actually run. You would just glide over everything, shooting your fucking magic shooter. I'm all like,
yeah, wisdom form. When you did the drive with Donald,
Yes.
That gave you access to dash, and it had one of its auto abilities was, like you said, just I can't remember what they called it. Was it magic slide or magic run?
I think it was magic
you
slide.
You just fucking glide.
Like, oh god, it was so good.
You glide and you do shooting attacks, and it was like boom, boom, boom. Oh, it was great.
And then you like, you do it too much, you get in your dark form, you're like, oh no, but you still just like you become a fucking gremlin, you're just like, and like,
yeah, the mechanics for anti-form are pretty sick. Fun fact, everybody, if you didn't know, the way the game is programmed, it's actually weighted. If you try and drive during a boss fight in critical HP, you are more likely to hit the anti-form timer.
Yeah. It's like, I loved all that stuff in 2.
And then, of course, just the way it was effort to unlock Final Form, but the way that played was just crazy. Fucking, like, just floating, having your Keyblades do all the fucking psychic shit. Like, I remember the, like, oscillating, like, pillar-type attacks where they just, like, scythe up and down, and then they spin around you. I think you get to turn into, like, a flying fucking cyclone. Oh, it's good. Good shit. No, I don't think any of the Keyblades did the proper... I mean, I think you could do some of the looks, but they didn't quite, because I don't think you could still double up on Keyblades in 3. They didn't quite capture the same mechanics. They did have some effects where you could kind of like do a little bit of the reskin stuff, but yeah. I mean, they kind of had an excuse with 3. Like, it was explained you got Drive because you got new clothes from the fairies, and then obviously Sora has a different costume in 3, so it's kind of supposed to be explained, but it's a little weird.
It was a cop-out, that's what it was.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, Kingdom Hearts does have kind of the not always, because like I think there were a couple games where they just remembered to give you like dodge roll at level 1 anyway, but they have to come up with an excuse for like why you lost all your moves between games again. Usually because Sora got amnesia, or was dead, or got ghost amnesia, or was lost in the dark world.
Went on summer vacation, forgot to do his homework.
Yeah. Like, whatever fucking works. You know. It was technically, I think the excuse for Kingdom Hearts 3 was at the end of Dream Drop, you got, like, very, very briefly Norded just a little bit. You were, like, 2% Norded.
Yeah. You got to sit on the big chair for a second.
Yeah. Which is it's a sick visual, but God, so ugh. Some of those later games are just, I mean, I say with affection, they're just nonsense. We'll do the replay of at least all the games they let you replay. R.I.P. 356 Days Over 2. At some point, we'll do that stream series someday. Do not expect that one anytime soon. We'll probably at this rate start at least Halo 1 way before Kingdom Hearts 1. But it's got some goodies, and I think some of the side games that you might have missed have some positives. Speaking of like different ways games play, like I actually do like the way they kind of made all the 3 characters in Birth by Sleep distinct, right? Mm-hmm. But also, God, that's kind of a pain in the ass because you got to play the game 3 fucking times. It's not a long play, but makes me wonder about like game design stuff. Like right now, for instance, you're playing a mobile game, and right now you're grinding.
Yep.
You're doing the grind, but it's not like a story grind or anything. It's just they figured out the way to make you spend some extra time doing the game.
Yeah, no, I don't mind it.
No, and like technically, I think the console Kingdom Hearts had some of those moments, right? Like if you wanted to like do your best synthesis shit.
Oh God, I hate it.
And stuff. You have to hunt down some rare boys.
And then you have to hope they drop whatever that you fucking need. I hated that so much.
Yeah. And forget even hope they drop. Also, all the best shit came from those fucking mushrooms, which means you usually had to play like bonus mini games with them. I remember staring at those fucking mushrooms. I think it's the white mushrooms that need you to do magic to them. Just watching that guy like fan himself, like, and I'm like, what do you want from me?
I believe that means
I'm like 11.
Yeah, if I remember, that means they're hot, so you need to cast Blizzard on them.
Yeah, if they're fanning themselves, they're hot, so hit them with Blizzard. If they're shivering, do fire. If they're like gloomy, they have like a little storm cloud over their head. Hit them with you hit him with fucking thunder. You hit him with aereo, I think, if they're like lying on the ground, like, oh, I'm so heavy.
I think it's if they're like floating or something. I don't remember, or maybe it was.
No, I think the floating is you got to gravity them. You got to hold them down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was like one move for every spell. I don't remember what the animation was if they wanted to hit him with stop, but it was there. Like, and there was other bullshit. There was I think it was the blue guys who wanted you to like keep them off the ground for long.
I remember that one. You have to, usually the best one was to use arrow and just keep fucking bouncing them up.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But yeah, no, like, so that is designed to, like, extend your playtime if you want it, give you extra shit to do, get some extra levels, design some cool shit, get Ultimate Weapon, obviously. I feel like while there was some of that with some of the side games, like, there was obviously mechanics in, like, Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop where you could go deeper, and I assume in 356, it's just, that's a... technically, I own that cartridge for my DS. I could actually plug it in and play it, but I did not have an opportunity to replay it in the like whole story so far collections. But also at the same time, I feel like Dream Drop and Birth by Sleep were very specifically designed because they have multiple player characters and like multiple character stories. Because in Dream Drop on the 3DS, that was you played as Sora and Riku. And they went back to Riku's Kingdom Hearts 1 design for some reason. I think it's because the art style worked better. Whatever. You were dreaming. It's fine.
It's fine.
Riku dreams about being in his KH1 drip for some reason, even though that's when he looks the dorkiest.
It's that nostalgia.
And also when he's the biggest asshole. Maybe he's probably thinking about the pre Door to Darkness days when they were just kids on the island. That's okay. Everybody looked their dorkiest in Kingdom Hearts 1. The art style was a little punchier then. But like I wonder if because they were portable games, right? And the idea was that you'd be picking up and putting them down a lot.
Son of a bitch.
I wonder if those games were designed with these features as like a, well, shit, they're gonna pick up this portable game and stuff. We gotta figure out how to keep that playtime up. How to keep them invested. Now we do different shit. Like I feel like the way the game design seems to be going, because this was both how 7 Remake and 16 handled it, was their idea of how to make the game longer is you do have some optional challenges and some super bosses and stuff, but also usually it's like, okay, you beat the game once, cool. Here's the hard mode, which will absolutely clap your shit. Hard mode in FF7 Remake is I think it's you only have like limited item uses, and you don't actually no, it might be you can't even use items. You can only recover by benches or through magic. So like no more ethers, no more potions, and also enemies are a lot tougher and weirder. Like that's how you get the hardcore gamers to keep playing, is like, hey yo, you want to try the hard mode? And I do have to new game plus 16 sometime, but again, there's so many goddamn video games.
Okay, I haven't cleared this one.
But all right, it's a little shorter because we've only been going for like 2.5 hours. But like I said, I've been mostly playing video games and juggling a lot of writing projects lately, so I don't have a lot more to add. Anything else coming up for you, Lucky, that you want to talk about?
We do have the Aniplex Online Fest coming up here, actually in about an hour and a half.
Okay.
So we might be getting some good news. Some people are wondering if we're gonna get maybe some Fate-related news or just some non-Subverse related news in general. Everyone seems a little wibbly wobbly on that, but I'm hoping for something. We will see. Like I've pretty much given up trying to talk about anime on this because, like, I'm actually pretty coherent because I'm not actually trying to play this game. I'm just mostly keeping an eye on it and making sure shit doesn't go completely awry, rather than actually playing. But thank you Square Enix for letting me fucking not have to work too hard on this. I could get in the nitty gritty with this game, but no, it is usually pretty good just to play itself.
Yep, very solid.
But, like, normally if I'm actually trying to play a game, I cannot, fully form the fucking thoughts to actually explain my stuff. And so, I wasn't actually sure if I was going to be able to get Ever Crisis to actually work on my PC. I think I explained this in the beginning. But, so I didn't necessarily plan to talk about, like, stuff like anime and stuff that I can go on about, unfortunately. There are a few like little things here. Aaron, one of the lads who plays tabletop and 14 with us, did approach us and say like, "Hey guys, I got a game that I might like run in October. Mysterious Island, might be some light horror. You play an insertion team." And I was all like, "You guys interested?" And I was like, "Hell yeah!" It'd be like Sons of the Forest. He did not necessarily comment on that, but he did like a little winky face. Aaron's very good at the emotes. But he said we're gonna use base Genesis rules for that, and I was like, "Oh, sick!" Because I've actually haven't had a chance to use the pyramid system in Genesis yet, so I was on board to try that. And like I said, I'm always down to tabletop.
Yeah, I commented that like, "Oh, I almost never get to play," so
yeah,
I'm here.
Yeah, I already made a character. I named him Fahrenheit, after my boy Kelvin in Sons of the Forest. Yes, yeah, thank you, Law.
Yeah.
But, like I said, it's one of those things again, though, like, Aaron's still writing it, and so it's going to be a while before we get there, but You know, Lucky. When Lucky gets excited about it, he acts. I already like fully built the character and posted it for people to see, and hopefully it gives people an idea of like what to do. I do
Yeah.
know Axe is interested as well, but he is not so sure on how everything works, so he might need some help.
Yeah.
But like also with that group, I did actually get a chance to play Flamecraft. Did I ever talk about Flamecraft?
No, I don't think that's actually. We mentioned it before earlier because we were talking about the fact that you were set up for TDS, but I don't think we ever actually
Yeah, we actually never
talked about that on What's Up.
Yeah, no. So Flamecraft is a board craft. Like once, so this me be lucky. One day I'm just on Twitter and I scroll down and I see a picture of a cute little dragon, on someone's arm, fucking making creme brulee with its breath, with its flame breath. I'm like, oh, that's adorable. And it's
I
like,
think it was from Wholesome Memes specifically.
yeah, and like the text was like in a little town at a little cafe, there is a little dragon making creme brulee. And I was like, oh, that's adorable. But, Lucky did his usual things. I checked the comments and I was like, yeah, no, this is from a board game actually called Flamecraft. And I was like, and so I looked it up and, found it. And people reviews were saying that it's actually a pretty good game. And so I was like, it's my birthday. I'm going to get me this game. And I did. I actually have the physical version of it, the standard edition. And last week, I went to go visit my friend for our monthly book club, and I also took. Oh, I only got an A on that. And I took Flamecraft to play because I asked hey, I got this new game. It's like for 1 to 5 people. Would you be interested? Because my friend does like a lot of gaming themselves, and so they're more familiar with board games and stuff. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll bring it over. So we played it, and this is what the thing is. I wanted to play it myself first before I brought it to all the guys because I wanted to understand what the hell we were actually getting into before we actually just jump onto a game and go, okay, what do we do? It would have, especially with online and using TTS, we would have completely fucking...
Yeah. I usually like to beta test stuff, or I get to intros to a lot of games specifically on TTS by way of watching people play those games. So,
yeah,
understanding some basic rules and stuff.
So, oh, that's a good initial. Might go run back to. And no, we'll just. So we got to play a game, and it took a couple hours, but there was we had to reset once because I misunderstood a rule, and we have to keep explaining certain things about it. It's once you get the flow of it, it actually turns can go pretty quickly, but there's a bit of an initial setup and a bit of term, but I feel like playing it once has given me enough idea of how to play it that I can, adjudicate, I guess is the best term to say, us playing it. And so today I went into TTS, I got it installed, got the ball, I tried it out, and I had to futz with it a little bit because Flamecraft is a game that Flamecraft is a competitive game, but it is not a you versus the player. It is not a player versus player competitive. It is the player versus the system kind of thing. Basically, your goal.
There's only one winner, but you are not necessarily making moves that are adversarial.
Yes. Basically, you the crux of the game is basically you are a flamekeeper who basically goes around to shops, improves them some way. Gets benefits from that, and whoever has the highest reputation at the end of the game wins. They even have a rule for breaking ties. That's all okay, well, if you're tied, whoever has the most artisan dragons win. If that's also a tie, you count the same amount of resources. If that's a tie, you both fucking win. Go home.
I appreciate when games are like that. Okay, they've given you some tiebreakers. If you're still tied, it's a fucking draw. Go home. You both won. You're both winners. We're done.
Yeah. Oh, actually, Megan, can you vamp for a couple seconds here? I need to step away real quick.
Of course.
Thank you.
Well, I am a little dry. I can vamp for a sec. We are probably winding down after this, but like I said, I want to, give Lucky a chance to talk about some stuff. So if he has any more Flamecraft stuff to say, we can do that. And to answer your question, Loth, yes, Lucky had the time to play it in person. I haven't poked it at all, though I have TTS like downloaded and installed. We might do that after this. I do need to, refill up on my water and stuff because I'm a little dry and scratchy, but we're chilling. So I don't know how too much longer the show's going, but we're doing a little stuff. We've got a few things we can do. I know Lucky also talked about doing some more Sea of Stars, so I could get in there. Yeah, we talked about Genesis a little, which is something that I am, like I said, usually I don't go as unless I'm really gripped. That's happened a couple times, but usually I don't go as whole hog as Lucky does with character concepts. So I haven't completed mine, but I've already thought about like what kind of niche as a character I could occupy and stuff to do. So it'll be good to do all that. Hey, Chad, if you want a web series recommendation, just a real quick thing. Secret Base just did a very long series of very long videos. It's about 9 hours in total, but detailing the entire history of the Minnesota Vikings football team. If you're interested in sports documentary type stuff, I heartily recommend their series on the Seattle Mariners, being very interesting. So you can go ahead and check that out too if you need to kill some time. That's the thing I've been watching off and on. They've kind of been slow releasing, premiering it, but it's all out there if you want to catch all up. Oh, yeah, also, this is another thing. Just a minor news note thing, but the stories have come out for game testing. There have been some behind closed doors stuff that the Nintendo Switch 2 is real. They are actually planning a second Switch drop, which will be, got a little more juice, gonna be compatible with some higher level stuff, get some new games. Kind of like a Switch Pro kind of a thing, maybe, like they were rumored to do. And I believe, according to the demonstrations that we've seen, the people who got this demo, it's supposed to be backwards compatible with the carts. And will also still be probably software backwards compatible. So that's always a good sign. It's important to keep that compatibility where possible. So that's another, little bits of news, little bits of that. Yes, Tokyo Game Show this year will be... Yeah, that sounds... And I mean, that's the kind of thing, Legendary, right, where, like, that's easily something that, like, Nintendo could maybe be piloting, right? Like, they could put out there, like, oh, what if we charge you to transfer your digital licenses, and then people, are not happy about that, and maybe they go, okay, maybe we don't do that. I hope they don't do that, because that would be dumb. Not that I have a lot of digital games on Switch anyway, but that is just, like, not the right way to handle digital rights. Now that Nintendo has always been great about that, but, it's one of those things actively discouraging you to do all that. And they really don't, they shouldn't need to do that, because you should have all your Nintendo ID and shit.
All right, I'm back. What'd I miss?
Yep. I was just mentioning that it is pretty much confirmed that Nintendo did show like a Switch 2 to some people behind closed doors.
Oh, okay.
And I believe current, rumors and ideas is that it should be physically backwards compatible.
Okay.
Like it's still going to read the same carts, but it'll have, better tech, like access to like higher levels of Unreal Engine and shit like that. So it will be an improvement, but not necessarily like require you to rebuy literally all your games. But obviously, because this was behind closed doors, there's also still a lot of rumors and speculation. We may once again get some more info out of Tokyo Game Show, because that's a really, really big deal in Japan, and that is Thursday the 21st through that Sunday the 24th. So that's in about 2-ish weeks, 10-ish days. So that's the kind of place where you're probably going to see Square usually has some zingers for Tokyo Game Show. Now that Armored Core is out, I think a lot of people are suspecting we'll see some more news about the Elden Ring DLC there, because that's kind of been on the back burner since its announcement. And while I know that Xbox will be doing some coverage there. I still don't know how well they're going to do over there. I guess they gave Sega and Atlas a lot of money to continue to advertise P3 Remake on their own YouTube channel with only the Xbox logos.
Actually,
and then
sorry.
PlayStation posts it the next day.
I'm still wondering. Maybe I'm hoping we get more word on that new Atlas IP they showed off.
Yeah, that looks sick. I hope we also get some fill-in on that. And we could, because I'm thinking, like, we've already gotten a decent amount of press, and, like, the pre-order's open for P3R, so I don't really know what, other than just, cutting new trailers every once in a while and maybe showing off some later areas of the game and stuff. I don't really know what else promo you have to do, right? Like, you've got a release date, you've shown some people the gameplay, which seems to, be tightened up with some of the quality of life. You did the voice cast. Voice cast, by the way, for the English dub, having listened to that trailer, doing a great job. I remember the original P3 voice cast very, very cleanly, and a lot of the people they brought in, because they brought in all new actors because it's been like 20 fucking years. They're still doing a good job of trying to hit a very similar range for those characters, but still, they're bringing it. So yeah, I would expect, since they probably don't have a lot else of P3 news to announce, maybe you'll see some more P5 Tactica stuff. Because that's coming out sooner, but still, it's like one of those things of like, I don't actually know,
I think something else that I am probably also hoping for is maybe some Stellar Blade announcement.
Yeah, that's been in the notably been absent from the last couple of PlayStation-focused things, and wasn't at like Summer Game Fest either.
No, but like I said, Shift Up we know is making the good work. While Destiny Child is probably aiding its end of service here. I think in like the next week. I cannot remember the exact date. I do know it's this month though. But Nikkei has been they did their Nier collab, and it rocketed them to the top of a couple charts. I cannot remember which one.
Yeah, some big ones.
Yeah. So people are probably making some money right now. So yeah. I cannot imagine that Stellar Blade has been. Yes, Loth. That was announced like 2 months ago.
Well, it's just now checking his fucking news filters.
Pretty much.
Actually, this is a good question. Was Destiny's Child also Shift Up?
Yes.
Okay.
It was their first major. It was their first major gacha game. As a matter of fact, a lot of the main artist from Destiny Child is actually working on Nikkei right now. So.
Yeah. Well, and to me that says that, like, I know obviously that's unfortunate if you enjoy the game, but if they have kind of hit their end of it, they've done all they want to do. It would make sense to close up and maybe focus more resources on finishing Stellar Blade.
From what I understand, I think this is actually they did not actually want to close out Destiny Child, but they were pressured because I do believe that Shift Up is owned by Tencent.
Yeah, I could see that. They've the kind of thing where it's like, okay, you've got this big AAA project, and obviously Nikkei is much bigger than Destiny Child.
Yeah.
No offense to Destiny Child, but it's true.
It's true.
I could see them trying to like force a pivot. That's always sad, but hopefully it can be a good conclusion. But yeah, we haven't heard anything out of Stellar Blade for a while, but like I said, I feel like honestly, talking about like PlayStation, first party or exclusive games, like they've been hitting pretty hard, this year. They've got some really good ones, and some good showings. There's been some remakes. God of War obviously really got a lot of its flowers. When it came out late last year, Final Fantasy 16 has been doing amazing on the PS5. I would argue that like PS5 generally is still like, if you're not playing on like a super cutting edge PC, PS5 is still often seems like the best way to play a lot of games that are coming out, even if they're multi-platform. Like not perfectly, but I distinctly remember, I think when Elden Ring came out, like it had kind of a sketchy PC port, and the PS5 version was a lot more stable. I don't know if that was true for Armored Core as well, but I honestly haven't heard anything about like bad ports with Armored Core in specific. Just generally, people be praising. People are filtered or be praising. But like there were several games where like they actually seem to have a little bit of an edge. I think Cyberpunk generally, I mean obviously because of the next gen part, but generally Cyberpunk was doing better and seemed a little cleaner on PlayStation than necessarily the PC release. Though again, if you play PC with all the really cutting edge stuff, Cyberpunk is doing some fucking crazy shit
30, okay.
with like NVIDIA drivers and stuff. But yeah, like the PS5's been doing pretty good, but I feel like Sony is in kind of a place where it's like, okay, guys, you know, you've got Spider-Man coming, obviously. That's your next big like tentpole of the year, but you know, we might need some more gas. Like, we know about Rebirth, but it seems like a lot of their other like big exclusive games are like still kind of in the wings a little.
Trying to get me with these packs. You ain't getting me. You ain't.
Yep. Nah, not like that. Like Forspoken wasn't as much of a zinger as they probably wanted. Oh, actually, wait, shit. Oh, that's... Yep. Uh-oh.
What?
I just realized something.
What?
Oh, it's been a little while since I heard from one Hideo Kojima.
True.
And Tokyo Game Show coming up.
True.
Shit, I need to check his Twitter. He's been talking about editing. I think he might have been talking about editing. We might be getting some more Death Stranding, too. Gotta watch out for that man.
Gonna get you.
Yeah. Oh, right, shit. The Silent Hill 2 remake, that's a timed exclusive.
Oh, maybe on the new Silent Hill too. Like what was it?
I don't think that's an exclusive, but also I could see that at Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah, Tokyo Game Show, I should say.
Yeah, in general for Tokyo Game Show, because that'll be.
Oh,
actually, ooh. This I think will be the first Tokyo Game Show where like Konami's actually back in the biz. Like we could see more Metal Gear Delta.
That could be good.
It would be about a month before Volume 1 comes out, but we might also see like rumors of Master Collection 2. You know, they might have some stuff to say.
I do think, didn't they say that? I do believe Konami has gone saying that the interest in Metal Gear has been good. I don't know if they said.
Yes.
So I do think they
basically, the way I remember is Konami basically said, "Hey, we're doing the Master Collection Volume 1 because we want to like raise the profile of the Metal Gear IP. We're working on Delta. We don't know when that's coming out, but we would like to like let some people get back into the franchise, and I think that's been going very positively.
Yes.
Like people have been very excited about the Master Collection and stuff going forward. So yeah. And in general, I think not like perfectly, but generally, Konami has been going on an upward trend in the video game business. Obviously, they've announced both a new Silent Hill and a Silent Hill 2 remake. Though that's obviously being handled by like an external studio for the most part. We've got Metal Gear remasters and a new remake in there as well. While they did... So there were a couple of Yu-Gi-Oh! Video games they previewed a little while ago. One of those, Cross Duel, is already shut down. They did a First Soldier thing, and it just crashed after like a year.
Honestly, Master Duel is probably really what's been saving fucking Konami's butts in the gaming circuit, in my personal opinion.
Oh yeah, no, like it's we have our own complaints about it, but just and to be fair, they already had not exactly a gacha style game, but they already had a mobile streamlined version of Yu-Gi-Oh! That's been going for like 5 years, I think. Duel Links, that's like simplified game state, has like a lot of like special character abilities you can unlock and like very curated card pool. So like that's been a very popular side business for them. But Master Duel is kind of like their Yu-Gi-Oh! Everywhere simulator, and I'm pretty sure it's working. Like they've had some ups and downs, and I even brought this up that like they got called out on a shareholder call recently about like ways they could improve. But it does seem like they have actually taken that advice to heart, both about Master Duel and about the physical card game. So like I think like Konami's not in cruise control right now. Like they're trying. They spent a shitload of money opening a new gaming studio. Like I think technically like last year or a couple of years ago now, but like they're in it. So we can probably expect some Tokyo Game Show news from them on some properties. God help us if they actually release a new or preview a new Castlevania game, but obviously Castlevania Nocturne is coming out this month. So, like, the Castlevania IP is still on people's minds.
I don't know. I don't know. I knew Castlevania would be probably pretty good, but I don't think they're actually going to be trying to do... I don't think they're, like... I think what my goal with Konami right be here is they would need to actually rebuild interest in their IPs before they actually start going with something new. Which,
Yeah.
like I said, I do believe like the Konami like not too long ago released like a collection of some of the 3DS Castlevania games.
Yep.
I believe,
which is very good. They did. I think it was the Advanced Collection.
Yeah, the Advanced Collection. That's what it was.
The like 1 or 2 GBA games and the DS games.
Yeah. And like I said, they're doing that with Metal Gear right now, and
let's see. I'm looking. Subcategories of Konami franchises.
And with Silent Hill 2.
Yeah.
Like, and they did. I guess they did announce like the new IP for Silent Hill, but at the same time, you know, that's still very much something in the future.
I hope that they're not trying to like bite off more than they can chew. You know,
Yeah.
Like, do a gentle ramp, y'all. So let's see. Konami does Beat Mania, Bloody Roar, Boktai. I cannot imagine we're gonna see another Boktai game. Especially with I think you know some of the stuff was exclusive over there. Though I mean they got like 3 games. They might do a collection. They seem like they're very easy at doing collections. Bomberman. Pretty sure Bomberman had a game like on the Switch not too long ago. Contra. Can you play Contra on anything? Probably. They gotta have like some arcade collections. There's you know, DDR obviously. Castlevania, Frogger. God, a lot of these are really classic, but also like definitely still in like that arcade zone. Like I don't, you know, they've got like Gradius and Parodius, and it's like, how the fuck even would you, right? Like they would just have to be like a little downloadable title or like, you know, Gradius Mobile or something, right? Like I can't. Can you make a AAA Gradius game?
I mean, I think you could, but I think people would immediately be like, "That's not my Gradius."
Yeah, it would. I feel like it would be a step too far away from the original. You'd like get lost in the weeds.
Like, because like when you get down to it, like Gradius is nothing but just a 2D, it's just 2D fucking it's a 2D side scroll shooter. All you do is go up and down, back and forth, and shoot shit. Like, and it's like it's pretty light on the story, but if you were to take it to like a 3D, you know, like full flight simulator, like people could have fun with that, but it wouldn't be, you know, Gradius to people because people are fucking entrenched in what they thought was good, like, you know, last year and beyond. God, I'm still mad about some of that shit. Like, he's got to learn to be better about letting shit go. He's not.
And I'm gonna guess. Well, yeah. Thinking about it, like the odds that we're actually gonna like see a brand new Castlevania. I mean, we might because a couple of people have handled it over the year, but you know, Koji Igarashi like left Konami and then did Bloodstained, right?
Yeah,
which was very successful.
I liked it.
There's a sequel even.
There is?
Yeah, there's Bloodstained: Curse of the Moon.
Oh, I have to look at that.
Yeah, and there's supposed to be another one. Oh no, there's a second game in the series, Curse of the Moon, and then they did a Curse of the Moon 2, which is kind of a side story. A sequel to the Ritual of the Night is in dev as of June 2021, so there is a sequel coming.
Oh, okay.
But there were some side games that also got some sequels, so like that's going to become a whole new franchise of like Castlevania likes. I also similarly, I'm pretty sure Konami won't revive Suikoden because the guy who made Suikoden has left and is working on that game Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, which is a spiritual successor. So basically doing the same thing that happened with Castlevania and then Bloodstained. That's supposed to be coming out next year. It got delayed due to COVID, but a prequel did come out already. The Eiyuden Chronicle Rising. So, like, I feel like there's a couple of... I mean, not that that's necessarily stopped them with Metal Gear, right? Like, they're still... not necessarily doing new things, but like they're still doing what they have with their old property rights, even though Kojima has very infamously left Konami. But like, I don't know. I don't know if Konami will have the balls to do Metal Gear Solid 6, right?
I don't think they will. Well, okay. I personally do think that if Metal Gear, like, if these Master Volumes collections and Delta do well enough, they may reach out to Kojima to work on the series again. Maybe not, like, as a more of a partnership rather than an employment, though, you know?
Yeah, like how they because like they're not making the Silent Hill 2 remake, Like,
No.
they've got a blooper team to do most of the work on that. I could see them. I don't know like what executives are where, and if the people that like had this discussion with Kojima are still there or are gone now, because there was a lot of overturn in leadership.
Yes.
After the very public falling out with Kojima, like that hurt Konami's business reputation
Like a lot.
And like that, and the fact that they were like, fuck video games, we're gonna make pachinko machine, like that turned them off to a lot of people in the games industry. And I think that like a lot of their shareholders and shit were like, you guys are leaving money on the table here, and like that's not good. And they ended up with like a leadership shift. So I don't know exactly what they're gonna do, but yeah, I could personally, I'm pretty sure that Hideo Kojima would be fine if he never had to work on another Metal Gear game.
Yeah, I'm also sure about this too, but
I am, quite frankly, I'm fairly certain that Hideo Kojima would have been fine if he never made another Metal Gear game after Metal Gear Solid. But, he also, I will say this, I feel like even though Hideo Kojima didn't necessarily want to do those games, he is the kind of game designer who, like, when Konami was like, hey, we need Metal Gear Solid 2, he's like, okay, I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to do all my Kojima stuff. Like, he kept doing that, So, like, Metal Gear games are really weird. I do want to do a Metal Gear retrospective at some point, and with the Master Collections, that'll be a lot easier. But, like, a lot of this has to do with 5. Obviously, 5 is literally an unfinished game. There's supposed to be an Act 3. The Act 3 isn't there. There's some, like, half-completed cutscenes you can see for their conclusions and shit. But
honestly, I think if any sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but if anything, I just want Konami to bring Kojima back and finish fucking 5. I don't know if they make it DLC or they just make a third fucking game or something, but just...
Well, I mean, depending on the year frame, that, like, MGS4 was technically last gen, there's no, like, next gen port. I could see them doing, like... And it would be the real director's cut. Kojima wouldn't be mad about them calling it a director's cut. It would actually be the version the director wanted to do. Like, I do not know if that is possible, but I would agree that would make more business sense and be better for them to actually finish 5. Because there's a lot going on there. But like, even 5, which feels like it is definitively like, trying to answer some fucking questions that we have had about Metal Gear since the NES days, since, the fucking MSX. Like, first of all, how the fuck did you kill Big Boss twice? Spoilers, there were 2 big bosses the whole time. Which is a wild twist, and I fucking love it. It's so Metal Gear, but, like all the shit with Les Enfants Terribles is, like, off-screen, like, up until you get Eli, and he's just there? We don't see David at all, right? Like, and I know that the original Metal Gear games are supposed to be like his like young soldier days, but like there's still some weird shit. There's no Sniper Wolf. Like, even though you're in fucking Afghanistan, that should be the spot where you run into Sniper Wolf. But you run into Quiet, who is like eerily similar but different. Also, you have a wolf. Like, I don't know if it was just Kojima being Kojima or like what, but like I feel like there were opportunities to actually like do the thing people generally like with prequels, and they did a little bit. You get a lot of Master Miller. There's a fuck ton of young Ocelot in Metal Gear Solid 5, which is great. Boss, that's an enemy gunship. Its cannon will tear a man in half. You need to hide. I will say this now every single time you see an enemy gunship. No, I will not say the phrase Han D. But like, it 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 hit some of the stuff you wanted of prequel, but left some stuff hanging. So like, I'm not gonna say that they couldn't make a Metal Gear 6 or whatever, and like completely close the time loop, but I don't know if Kojima wants to do that. Like I said, like I feel like he has been saying literally since Metal Gear Solid came out, he's fucking done with Metal Gear. He never wants to make another one. And then 2 years later, he's like, "Hello, it's me, Hideo Kojima. Here is a new Metal Gear game. Please buy it, but don't buy it enough that I have to make another one." Ah, son of a bitch. Hello, I'm Hideo Kojima. Here's another Metal Gear game. Stop buying it. Like, I don't know if it was just that his working relationship with Konami was that bad after Metal Gear Solid that, like, it was just such a pain in the ass, but, like, he did genuinely always seem in, like, interviews after a game came out being like, yeah, I'm done, man. I've said everything I need to say. We've done all the stuff we need to do. And I don't know, again, I genuinely don't know if it's, like, 6 months later, Hideo Kojima is like, I said I did everything I wanted to do, but what if...
No, personally, I think it's
skin breathing.
I think it's the latter because Kojima is kind of an auteur, Like
yes, he is like one of the few auteurs in video.
Like he's up there with like Yoko Taro, but like so I'm pretty sure like as we go through times and stuff, he gets inspired by things and sees things and be like, and he just has that moment, what if, and then he goes, oh no.
Well, I'm going to assume that's how Death Stranding 2 happened, right?
Yeah.
Like, not that he ever said he was done with Death Stranding forever, but it was like... having played Death Stranding pretty thoroughly, still never got to the director's cut stuff. I played the original pretty thoroughly, did a lot of the extra shit. I feel like that one wraps up pretty good, right? Like, it's not, like, finished forever, but you hit a moment where, like, we've told a satisfying story. It's over.
Yep.
And I don't know. I don't think it was billed as like necessarily a super ongoing franchise. Like obviously there was room for it to grow, but I always kind of assumed that Kojima would be working on whatever. Because according to rumors, Xbox has booked Koji Pro for a game. Like they've got an exclusive with him like locked in. But I have never seen hide nor hair of it. And the man is out here at like Summer Game Fest being like, "Yo, Death Stranding 2.
Ta-da!
I've got you. You're in my web." And it's just like, okay, sure. I'll play another one. And I bet you're right that that is what happened with him, right? Was like he finished Death Stranding. He was like, all right, cool. We can relax. I'm going to go hang out with all my favorite actors. I'm going to, fucking chill with my friends who make movies. Maybe I'll read this draft of the Metal Gear Solid movie script that's still never going to fucking come out ever. Oh, my God. But, like, and then, he's sitting at his office and he's, like, editing trailers because that's, talking about being him an auteur, he's claimed to have manually edited or at least taken an editing pass over every video game trailer he's ever done, Like, he likes to get in the trenches and do that personal touch.
Yeah.
And I think it makes sense because, like, he's done a lot of interviews about his time in game design. He started as a low-level guy and, like, slowly worked his way up to where he was. So it makes sense that, like, he did a lot of that hands-on shit back in the day, so, like, he feels the need to express himself that way. But, yeah, like, I bet he's just chilling, and then he's just like, hey, wait, what if Higgs was red?
No.
Though, I don't know with him, like, I could just as easily see it be like, I don't know, like, I could see Troy Baker fucking calling it up and being like, hey, Kojima, what are you working on? Can I be in it? And Kojima was like, well, I wasn't working on anything until you literally asked, Troy-san, but now that you said that, yeah, I can do some shit. I don't know. Like, do you think Kojima has, like, dinner with Guillermo del Toro, and del Toro's just like, yeah, I just put out this fucking sick-ass Pinocchio. What are you doing? And Kojima's just like, well, I have an idea.
Yeah, no, like, as much as, like, I think Kojima, like, I think... Honestly, the more I think about it, I think when Kojima says that he is done with, like, Metal Gear, he does actually mean it. But the thing is like, a few months later, he'll have another idea and he'll be like, oh no, I am not done. And then, he just goes from there. But...
Retweeting some glamour shots of Death Stranding screen caps. Retweeting some NASA shit. He retweeted something Guillermo del Toro said because, speaking of people who will never fucking retire, guess what? Hayao Miyazaki's not making his last movie yet. He's gonna come back for another one after The Boy and the Heron.
Another one after The Boy and the Heron?
Yes.
Wow.
The VP, Junichi Nishioka, says that Boy and the Heron will not be Hayao Miyazaki's final movie. He's already come back to the office with more ideas.
I mean, this is literally what I mean. They say they're done, they go home, they sit down, they have a drink, they're like, I can make a story about this.
It's a morbid of me to say, and I don't wish it, but I'm pretty sure the only way we're gonna stop making a Hayao Miyazaki movie is when he dies making one of these. Like, he is that into the craft. And I feel like Hideo Kojima is ultimately going to be the same way. Like, I cannot imagine Hideo Kojima retiring, right? Like, he's just going to keep making shit. Let's see. Yeah.
Well, I think Kojima likes the blend we've got in medias between like video games and movies, because Kojima always seemed like the guy who wanted to make movies, but he never felt like you could get the experience he wanted unless it was actually a video game where you controlled the characters and controlled their actions.
Yeah.
So I think he's gonna keep making video games.
And I do want to say, at least in Japan, Kojima was definitely a pioneer with like using actual cinematography, and it's very funny because I know about a lot of this, but he was a big fan of it's kind of circular actually, but he was a big fan of Vagrant Story by Square.
Yeah.
Because the main, I forget his name off the top of my head, but the main director of Vagrant Story really liked Metal Gear Solid. He described experiencing Metal Gear shock when he saw it, at like realizing what you could do with a video game camera.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that translated to Vagrant Story, which you can totally see. And a lot of that cinematography carried through into Final Fantasy 12 and even into, I think, 14 and 16 as well, because that kind of like a lot of those guys stayed on and ended up, I think most of them ended up in CBU3 now. But like, a lot of paying attention to the cinematography. And those guys actually met in a line, in like a 9-hour line for a movie premiere. I don't remember what movie it was off the top of my head. I can go look it up. But yeah, like, and that's just kind of like, you know, where we're at. Well, let's see. He's retweeting a lot of movie stuff. Sorry, I'll link this one in chat, but no, actually no, I can't do that. I got the wrong tab. I'll post it in mod channel for Lucky to see. But it's a Hideo Kojima tweet. It's gonna be very funny because you're also gonna see the other guy you saw in that picture.
Yeah.
There's just a black and white photo of him and Todd Howard, and like Kojima seems happy, and I don't know what's going on with Todd Howard. He's trying to smile, but the smile never reaches his eyes.
Clearly, Kojima is telling that whatever project they're working on is gonna have to fucking wait.
Yeah.
Can Todd smile?
I'm pretty sure he can. I think he's got it in him. He usually has a pretty neutral face.
But
Oh, well, funnily enough, I think he posted that tweet because he is actually playing Starfield.
yeah, why not?
That's one thing you can say that Hideo Kojima's not gonna have a problem about. He'll play video games. Like he will play other video games and see what they're fucking doing.
As you should.
He's in the mix. Like he's in there. It's good. He's also posting a lot, repping for Garth Edwards, the creator. Garth Edwards, creator. I should probably watch that movie. That one looks pretty good. It's got the you might have seen the trailers. It's got like a little kid robot AI, and there's like guys who fight AIs because the AIs went rogue.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Gareth Edwards who directed Rogue One and stuff, so like it looks great. Also, I suspect there's going to be some Woodkid music in Death Stranding 2, because he's been hanging out with those guys doing some teleconferencing. But yeah, I'm just scrolling his Twitter. It's mostly he, or at least his E on Twitter. So you know whoever's on working on that translation, but like retweeting a lot of images of people taking screenshots of Death Stranding, and then he talks a lot about like whatever shit he's doing, music, movies, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, I would say Oh shit, that's cute. His Twitter retweeted a shot from oh, that's Raspberry Maddie, who does those Metal Gear comics. She posted a picture of herself with a fucking Big Boss shirt on, and Hideo Kojima retweeted. That's cool. His social media team out there doing some stuff. But I would say this: I don't like. There may be like some like really in demand costumes in Ever Crisis, but I would say Ever Crisis is probably not a high priority game to play because they're gonna roll out the story in segments anyway. So like.
Yeah.
I don't, it's a kind of a thing where, like, obviously people should be in there and support it and downloading, but, like, I don't know what's the happening.
Like I said, I don't know how long I'll be able to keep up with Evercraft, which is why I'm super adamant about not spending money on it.
Yep. But yeah, okay. We managed to cross over the 3-hour mark there.
Hello.
And let's see. Was there anything else? Because you stepped away for a bit and I was vamping the stuff. Was there anything else you missed talking about earlier?
Oh no, I was talking about Flamecraft and how it's I was talking about how it's not directly competitive. It's you against the system, rather you against the players. But like I said, I think I do understand it now that if we want to play it on TTS, because I did try to go through setup and stuff to make sure that I actually understood what how things were set up. I think we could have a mostly free, hassle-free game of it, mostly. So if people are interested in that, I will be happy to take point on it. Or we can do something else later.
I just glanced over at chat and said that, and I see the Loft said, Todd smiles when everything just works. Sometimes I feel bad for Todd Howard, but then I remember he's in charge of a company that like sold out to Microsoft for like bajillions of dollars. He's probably doing fine.
Probably.
Oh, don't worry. We'll let Lucky speak if we're coordinating. We're fine. And I'm down to do that. Like I said, I need to refill my water, get some liquid in me, but I'm not doing anything else today. So we can indeed do that next if people are interested. And we can probably skedoodle on down to do that, because I think we've covered all of our big boy bases. Shown off plenty of Ever Crisis.
Yep.
Well, they helped make Doom 2016. Bethesda are odd, though. We're about talking about what Arcane and id and other subsidiaries do. I mean, I guess if they own id and id made Doom, then it's a really roundabout way to say that. Well, we own the company that made Doom, so that's. But yeah, games industry is funny like that. But okay, let's not prevaricate too long. Like I said, I'm thirsty. I need to get some water.
Yep, I need to get a snack.
And, figure out whatever we're doing next in our lives. So let's go ahead and wind down and do the outro. Check out Let's Talk FGO earlier if you haven't already. And like I said, stay tuned for the AP to launch probably tomorrow. Do not overwhelm you with content. It's not a holiday, so hopefully you should be back to Hollow Knight Monday.
Yep.
And keep on keeping on with the rest of the keeping ons. So, hey, if you're watching this video, give it a like. I am no longer asking. Wait, hold on. I have a sound clip for this. Yeah, there it is. Fire off a like. Leave your comments down below. Join our Discord. Links are in the description and channel page. Sub if you haven't already to get more. Ring the bell for notifications so you can see more. Get more notifications. Consider supporting our channel memberships for badges and emotes. And you can support us on Patreon, like I said earlier, to get access to audio and other fun things.
Fun things.
That's all I got.
Alrighty. Well, everyone have a good night, and we'll see you next time.